Namaskar, warm greetings from DELNET Developing Library Network, New Delhi, India. Distinguished speakers, Mr. Kanwaljeet Singh Arora and Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj, Shri K. Jayakumar, President DELNET, Dr. S.S. Murthy, Vice President, Dr. P.R. Goswami, Treasurer DELNET, the heads of institutions, Dean Research, eminent librarians, library and information science professionals, IQAC heads, faculty, researchers, scholars, students, my colleagues here at DELNET New Delhi and also its coordination units at Bangalore and Pune, ladies and gentlemen, I, Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, Director DELNET, takes profound privilege and honor in welcoming you all belonging to diverse knowledge domains who have joined us online from various parts of India and many other countries across the globe, including Bangladesh, Bhutan, Denmark, Kuwait, Nepal, Nigeria, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, UAE, UK, Northern Ireland, and USA to online session on AI for Everyone, Myths Busted, celebrating Library Networking Day 2024, being organized by DELNET Developing Library Network, New Delhi, India. We are much indeed grateful to each one of you for your very overwhelming response to today's program, as more than 2,500 participants from across the globe have registered for today's program. And this indeed speaks volumes of our interest in artificial intelligence. I take immense pleasure in informing you that DELNET is the single largest library network in South Asia, connecting more than 9,000 institutions spread across the country and also outside India. It is headquartered here at New Delhi in Jawaharlal Nehru University and also has its offices including in Bangalore, in Pune, in Hyderabad, as well as in an upcoming office in Lucknow. It is working relentlessly for past more than 3 decades to promote accessibility, equitability, affordability, and inclusivity of network information resources. Today, as we commemorate the 83rd birth anniversary of late Dr. H.K. Kaul, the founder director of DELNET, a library expert of international standing, an author, a poet, a bibliographer, and indeed an institution builder, the man with a vision and a mission whose unparalleled contributions and extraordinary leadership has led it to the growth of DELNET as a self-sustainable library network in entire South Asia, with a global standing as number 2. We all pay our very humble tributes in remembrance to our most revered Dr. H.K. Kaul today, who was always ahead of his times on his birth anniversary today, which is celebrated as a Library Networking Day by DELNET. At the very outset, on behalf of DELNET, we would like to express our sincere gratitude and thanks to our most distinguished speakers, Mr. Kanwaljeet Singh Arora and Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj, who will be sharing their vast expertise and knowledge and will be speaking on harnessing the power of AI and landscape of artificial intelligence in academic libraries, opportunities and challenges, respectively. We remain ever grateful to both of them for their stupendous support in making it possible for us to organize a program on the topics which holds a great relevance for each one of us. We're indeed honored, to have your very kind presence with us this morning. As we move on with the first session of the program, I have immense pleasure in once again welcoming Mr. Kanwaljeet Singh Arora and to introduce him to our attendees. I have immense pleasure in informing you that Mr. Arora is a seasoned technology expert with over 25 years of experience and expertise in global delivery and digital transformations, with remarkable experience of having worked with the industry leaders such as TCS, Fidelity, and Capgemini. He's experienced in leveraging generative AI, LLM, retrieval, augmented generation, and ML technologies for enterprise use cases. He is pursuing research and implementation of LLM evaluation algorithms, LLM fine-tuning, and ethical AI practices. He has significant experience in conducting digital and AI assessments, strategy, costing, pre-sales, solutioning, and program management. Additionally, Mr. Arora is also managing the delivery of advanced training programs in generative AI, LLM, RAG, ML, and blockchain for corporates and higher education institutions. Mr. Arora is a very acclaimed AI and blockchain consultant and a trainer. It's a profound honor and pleasure to have you with us, Mr. Arora, with us, and thank you so very much for acceding to our request to be there with us and for agreeing to share your vast expertise and knowledge on this platform. May I have a pleasure of requesting you now to kindly start the proceedings of the day. It's over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta, for the introduction. Also, big thanks to DELNET and again to you for inviting me here for the session on harnessing the power of AI. Glad to be here and presenting to this esteemed audience. I welcome you all to the session. The objective of the session is to provide a broad comprehension of AI technologies, AI landscape, understand how industry is using AI tools, and also look at some of the impactful AI tools that can be leveraged in our processes, workflows. And also we'll take this opportunity to also understand some of the myths which are associated with AI technologies. The session will provide you a broad understanding of AI technologies, and based on that, you should be able to evaluate, how to improve yours and your team's productivity using AI tools. And also for some of you who are in senior roles, you can also evaluate how some of the tools can be used to automate workflows and process flows in your respective organizations. I think this session will be very insightful. I know some of the participants may have experience in AI tools using especially generative AI technologies like ChatGPT. I think it will be insightful for those also, because we'll be showcasing some new techniques apart from new tools, some new techniques that can be leveraged for effective usage of technologies. So we'll start the session.
Mr. Arora, with the down arrow key, even you can try to go to the next slide.
Yeah, I'm just kind of, yeah. Hopefully you can see the presentation.
The first, slide is very much visible.
Yeah. So again, my name is Kanwaljeet Singh Arora. You can call me KJ. I'm an independent AI consultant and a trainer. The overall session is planned into 6-7 small modules. We'll start with introducing AI. We'll learn what is AI, how do you define AI, and what are the broad landscape, AI landscape. Then we'll take a brief deep dive into AI technologies. Then move on to generative AI, which is leading a big revolution in AI usage. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll look into some of the AI tools that can be used for productivity and innovation. Followed by a quick demo. I'll be giving a demo of some of the tools that which are very impactful. And then moving on to AI ethics and future trends in AI. And we have also blocked the time for Q&A towards the very end. So let's start the presentation. Defining AI. Typically, AI is defined as a set of technologies that enable machines or computers to perform tasks which require human intelligence, right? I mean, that's a very straightforward definition. And when we say human intelligence, typically such machines will have capability to do decision making, to solve problems, and also perform reasoning. So that's the definition of AI technologies. AI technologies also have one more big feature. They learn over time and get better. What that means is AI systems, as they get used, they encounter more data, they encounter more scenarios, they can learn from it, and they get better over time. So they get better at decision making, reasoning, and other skills that are exhibited by AI systems. These are the broad capabilities of AI systems: pattern recognition, data analysis, predictive analytics, decision making, reasoning, and problem solving, natural language processing, speech recognition, and synthesis, and computer vision. So these are the broad capabilities that AI systems display. So AI is not a new phenomena. AI has been evolving, over last 7-8 decades. If you see from this, diagram, we have, provided overall how things have been evolving. Earlier, it was AI. Although we'll define these terms in the next set of slides, but AI emerged in 60s, 50s, and 60s, and then machine learning took over in 90s. and then deep learning, which is again we'll define in a short while. So deep learning technologies, they started gaining ground in 2010 onwards. So if you see down below, I've also given a timeline. So early chatbots started appearing in 1960s, and then slowly we had AI-enabled automation, coming through, and then we have robots, industrial robots and other robots getting implemented, followed by advanced AI systems in 2000. Then all of us have seen the recent phenomena where products like Alexa, Siri are getting integrated in various applications and devices, right? And then something major happened in 2020. GPT, which is a generative pre-trained model, was released by OpenAI, and subsequently in 2022, ChatGPT was released. So we'll spend some more time on this slide in the subsequent section. So let's move on. Uh, you may not realize that we are actually using quite a few AI-enabled applications and services. I just talked about in the previous slide Siri and Alexa, which are obviously voice-enabled. We have been using it on our phones and devices. Smart TVs. These days we talk to our TVs, right? And so it's all AI-enabled. It can understand natural language. Product and content recommendation engines. So all of us, we shop online, right? So every time we shop online, based on our purchase behavior, based on our browsing history, we are bombarded with a lot of recommendations, right? So these online platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, and many more, right? All of them have AI-enabled recommendation engine. How it works is, it kind of not just remembers, it knows our the products we have purchased. Based on that, it can figure out what additional products can be sold to us, right? And it'll based on the recommendation engine, it'll give recommendations. Very often we see mails from Amazon, Flipkart saying that, oh, if you're buying this, you can bundle this along with this product, because it knows from the purchase behavior of other consumers, what else can be sold to this customer, right? So we are, recommendation engines are there everywhere. All of us use social media, right, irrespective of the platforms. So based on what we have seen in the past, we are it prompts us to with the similar reels or shorts, right, on various platforms. So even social media platforms, they have a recommendation engine. It learns based on our past browsing history, based on our past purchase history, and will recommend products to us, or shorts or reels to us, right? So we may not be aware, but that's AI in play. Email spam filters, all of us use emails, right? And then we see that in the junk folder or spam folder, a lot of emails which are typically spam, they land up in those folders, because there's a AI system which is able to distinguish based on patterns, and mark the emails as a spam, and put it in appropriate folder. We have telecom call filters also, calls getting marked as spam, or messages getting marked as spam. That is getting rolled out in India also. And then because we have a lot of people from academic institutes, plagiarism, right? So we have institutes implementing plagiarism checks in higher education and research institutes to ensure that the copyright and IP is not violated. So these are also AI enabled systems that are getting used in our regular workflows. So while we talked about common AI-enabled services and applications, I want to kind of take a jump here and talk about the AI use cases across industries. Here this slide lists various industries on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side we have various use cases or applications where AI is being used very heavily these days. So what I've done is, on the right-hand side, I have just highlighted in bold the areas which are where it is being used very heavily. For example, in healthcare, I'll just highlight some of the key use cases from this slide. Healthcare, disease prediction, drug discovery, heavily relying on AI. Otherwise, some of these things will take a lot of time. It's not possible to perform certain tasks. And AI has enabled faster drug discovery and also disease prediction. Education, a lot of content is getting created based on generative AI and AI. Media, again, it has led to a big revolution in India. I mean, all the social media platforms, we're flooded with, content and all that. So it's leading to content creation, facility. So where scripts, music, visuals can be created using various AI tools. So that's a big use case. Overall, media and entertainment is a very good use case. Again, marketing and advertisement. You can create your campaigns, you can create your visual content using AI tools. Uh, Retail, I talked about recommendation engine earlier. Finance is one of the other big use cases of AI. Fraud detection. For example, credit card companies, they have a fraud detection mechanism or AI system in place where it can tag a transaction as a fraud transaction based on the earlier patterns, learnings. It can detect that, right? In India, income tax department is using AI to figure out money laundering cases or other, income tax related issues. GST is using to AI to figure out, the fraud GST applications which are there to claim ITC, the input tax credit. So in India also, AI is being used heavily. In manufacturing, it's again a very big use case. Machine preventive maintenance and prediction, all that can be done. Production planning can be done using AI. Real estate, property trend visualization. We go to 99 acres or others. We see all the visualization based on past data. So it's the AI and other systems are enabling those visualizations. I mean, again, one of the biggest use cases, we that see autonomous driving cars, self-driving cars. We keep hearing about Tesla and the other self-driving cars. So that's AI behind, self-driving cars. So very big use case, one of the most complex use case of AI, self-driving cars. You'll be surprised to know that in tech and software, a lot of code is getting generated through generative AI or AI systems. I'll be providing some illustrations later on. Uh, we have seen fashion and design, virtual fittings. I recently bought a new glasses, and I was able to try things at home from Lenskart. Virtual fittings and all that. Even garment virtual fittings can be done. So a lot of innovation happening on fashion and design front. Legal industry, document drafting. So we'll talk about the capabilities of generative AI. So document drafting, case summaries, and all that is possible. Moving on to the one of the biggest use cases of AI. So the customer support, customer services and chatbot. Although it is appearing at the end here, but it is one of the biggest use cases of AI and generative AI. So a lot of companies are using chatbots and other applications to expedite and to modernize their customer support processes. So moving on. Also, as part of this, I said, we will try to address some of the myths which have been around. So some of the myths, which have been around is, AI is a recent phenomena. AI will take the world over. AI learns and understands like humans. I mean, we have a list of, a few myths which are listed here. So what I've done is, I've listed them here, and towards the end of this presentation, we'll revisit these myths along with the reality, right? So hopefully some of the demonstrations, some of the content that we'll present will help you understand and resolve these myths. And there's a slide later on which will talk about the reality. So moving on to section 2, you'll realize that I'm speeding through the presentation part because I want to spend a lot of time, at least 15-20 minutes on the demo, so that you get good insights into how to use some of the tools I'll be talking about. So moving on to the next module, which is AI deep dive. Again, this it just has one slide. So this has been included to provide you good insight into the terminology that we use all the time, right? Machine learning, deep learning, generative AI. So what are these terms, right? Although we defined AI earlier as a technology which enables machines or computers to perform tasks, which require human intelligence. That's a broad definition of AI technologies, right? And then we have some sub technologies, subsets of AI. Right? So we'll define those now. So one of the big technologies is ML, machine learning. So this is, as I said earlier, it's a subset of artificial intelligence that focuses on enabling machines to learn and improve their performance. So ML algorithms, machine learning programs or algorithms, they can learn from data, they can learn from pattern, and they can improve. As I said earlier, a typical credit card company will have a machine learning algorithm, and based on the past data, I mean millions of records, good transaction, and then there are a lot of bad records, fraud transactions. So machine learning algorithms, they learn from past data, they can learn from past transactions and figure out and flag a suspect transaction. So when I said your income tax department, our banks and credit card companies, they use machine learning based on the past data. They train the machine, and based on that, machine can predict a fraud transaction, right? So that's machine learning for you. Moving on to the next, deep learning. Now, deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So it is much more advanced than machine learning, and it's a subset of machine learning. It can handle complex tasks. What that means is the deep learning can also deal with images, right? So obviously that is much more complex than dealing with transitional data. One of the biggest use cases of deep learning is the self-driving cars. So you can imagine a self-driving cars has to read, learn from the images, learn from the video, understand the environment, the whole environment around the car, and take appropriate decisions. So I think self-driving cars will remain one of the biggest examples, one of the most complex examples of AI technologies. It includes machine learning also, it includes deep learning also, right? So I always cite that example. Self-driving cars is a biggest example of AI technologies in play. Now, generative AI. Generative AI, again, if you see, it's part of deep learning technologies, and generative AI is leading a revolution in AI usage. And the reason for that is, apart from having capabilities of machine learning, deep learning like pattern recognition and learning, making predictions, it can do a lot more. And that is, it can actually create new content. So you can create new text. When I say text, you can create essay on various subjects, you can create new images, you can create data, you can create audio, you can create video. I mean, it has multimodal capabilities. So it can also generate, apart from understanding and learning, it can also generate new content for you, right? So that's why there's a big revolution that is happening on AI front, and generative AI is leading the use cases across various industries. And we'll learn about generative AI in this session. Now, I'll also talk about LLMs, right? Here LLMs are part of generative AI, or the subset of generative AI. So large language models are advanced artificial intelligence models trained on extensive data sets to understand and generate and process human language. So some of you who may be familiar with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Falcon, Mistral, and other, there are a lot of language models, right? So they have been pre-trained on a lot of data, and that's why they can respond to a lot of, they can comprehend when we give a command or a prompt, and they can respond to it appropriately. So language models, they could be generic models, and also they could be very specific language models. For example, in finance industry, there could be language models which are specific to financial use cases. In healthcare, healthcare is again one of the biggest use cases of AI and generative AI. So there are a lot of healthcare related LLMs being generated. But in this session, we'll deal with some of the generic, LLMs like ChatGPT and also maybe Claude, right? If required, we'll give a demo on Claude also. So hopefully, this brief, talk about technologies will help you kind of comprehend, these terms that we hear almost every day, right? So moving on. Generative AI, generative AI, as I said earlier, is leading a big revolution, in on the AI front. We had this slide earlier also. I wanted to revisit this slide because although AI has been evolving over last 6, 7, 8 decades, but something major happened in last, as I said earlier, last 3, 4 years. In 2020, GPT, that's a pre-trained, generative pre-trained models was introduced. And then in 2022, ChatGPT was released for public use, in 2022. And since then, there's a surge in AI applications leveraging generative AI technologies, and we'll see why, right? So that's why we have planned the demo to showcase the capabilities, right? So having talked about the evolution and what has happened in the last 3-4 years, I want to talk about generative AI revolution, right? So typical language models, they have very strong capabilities. And on the slide, I have divided them into three different categories. Textual capabilities. They can do language comprehension, so they can understand the information you're seeking in plain English and other languages too, and it can get the required output for you, right? It can generate text. You can generate research papers. You can generate essays or whatever. You can fine tune your CV. You can create a new CV. So it has text generation facility, right? And it's very powerful. uh, Summarization. You have big document, you have big text. You can do a quick summarization using this tool. You can do categorization. Some You have again a document, it can be categorized. You can do sentiment analysis. uh, Based on a text or a paper, you can figure out what is the sentiment expressed in that document or a text, right? You can do aspect wise sentiment analysis, again a very powerful feature which we'll be showcasing in the demo today. And on the fly translations. So what I'll do during my demo, I will demonstrate some of these features so that some of you who have not experienced ChatGPT, can really figure out, can really comprehend the capabilities that we're talking about here. Now, on the data front, again, very powerful capabilities. You can generate test data. Some of you are from the research background. You may need test data. I'm from IT background, so I always, to test our applications and all that, we need a lot of test data. So very powerful capability. You can generate test data based on your specification. Just ask what is required, what are the fields, types, format types, and it will generate data for you. You can perform data analysis. Again, a very powerful technique. Without even knowing Excel or any powerful tool, you can perform data analysis on tools like ChatGPT and others. The last set of capabilities are again very powerful capabilities. Multimedia. Multimedia, it's leading a big revolution in multimedia. As we spoke on the other slides where we discussed the industry-wise use cases, whether it is marketing, whether it is other fields, a lot of content generation is required. A lot of multimedia content generation is required. So it has capability to produce images from text. You just describe a text and what do you want, and it will create an image for you. Based on text, it can create a video. You can create audio from text, and it can do video tagging for you, right? So in the demonstration section, so I'll be showcasing kind of if not all, most of these capabilities, right? Whether it's generating video from text or or all the textual capabilities, right? So overall benefit of using generative AI is AI automation of tasks. You can do a lot of things much quicker. It obviously leads to productivity improvement, productivity improvement, your team's productivity improvement. Also, you can incorporate some of those things in your organization processes and workflows. Uh, it provides a lot of opportunity for innovation and creativity. I mean, you will see that when you're able to create a video or an image based on text. I mean, that is leading to a lot of innovation, creativity in the multimedia space, and that is being used in various industries. Also, one more important feature, it's a no code platform. Obviously, you don't have to be a techie. Even if you don't have any technical background, still you can use these tools very effectively, right? And we'll showcase that during the demo part. So here, I said earlier, although there are a lot of LLMs available, these three are very famous, and they're from very good companies. ChatGPT will be using in this the demo section. We have Claude. Claude is also very famous because they I'll explain the meaning of ethical AI. They typically because AI systems although we talk about ethical AI later on, but Claude is also very good because it has implemented the ethical guardrails are in place. They call themselves a ethical AI platform, and we have Gemini from Google. So these three platforms are very famous, and they are being used for a lot of common use cases, which are mentioned on the left-hand side, right? So they're very effective, and we'll see that shortly. Now, another question I want to address as part of this particular slide is that, LLMs are able to perform all these, right? How, right? Because these models, whether it's Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini and others, they have been trained on large amount of data. So the reason they're called GPT models is generative pre-trained models. So they have been trained on a lot of data, billions of parameters, hence they're able to comprehend and respond appropriately. So basically, when I say they are pre-trained, what that means is, whatever is fed into these machines or language models, it's able to understand the context, the semantics, the way our brain works, right? As we learn, we kind of, store things appropriately, we make connections, and later on we're able to figure it out, right? And, based on our experience, from all the accumulated experiences, when we can respond appropriately, right? So similarly, LLMs have been fed a lot of data. They have ingested a lot of data, billions of parameters, and that is why they are able to respond to most of the generic prompts or inputs, or questions, very effectively. And we'll showcase that in our demo. So here I talked about general capabilities, and also earlier we talked about the industry use cases. Here, it is showcasing a different, aspect here. Here we're saying generative AI capabilities from different, domains perspective. On the text, you can do all this. You can create emails, you can do creative writing, you can do translation, marketing content, video, again, video generation, video editing, images, marketing illustration. So these are broad, use cases under each capability, right? Code generation, code completion, refactoring. So I've been using code generation a lot for various, purposes, especially around AI implementations. Music, I mean, another area where it is leading to a big revolution. I don't think I'll be able to showcase that tool, but there's a tool I'll talk about, Suno. You just give a text, it'll create a whole music for you, right? So we'll talk about that during our tool section. Speech to text, and other speech capabilities right there. So in all the, we are on social media, we are exposed to so many videos and other concepts which have been developed on AI, right? So this slide presents the overall capabilities of generative AI tools. I know that today we have quite a few participants, I think, and then some of you are from the library management domain. So I wanted to include something from that perspective. So here, generative AI can be effectively used in library management also. These are the various areas where you can leverage the AI tools. For example, some of the broad domain areas within library management are listed here: cataloging, classification, personalized recommendations, library assistance. Again, if you read the whole AI application also, these are very powerful capabilities, like AI powered chatbots answering questions and guiding users. Towards the end, I have listed one more use case: voice assistance. AI provides voice activated search and help to the library users. Obviously, you can create a lot of content, you can get data insights. So research assistance, we have another slide on research, so I will skip that part here. So again, some of the use cases mentioned on this slide are the big use cases. You can call them a general automation use cases, or AI use cases, which are very powerful. For example, personalized recommendations. We talked about recommendation engine, on social media platforms, on the e-commerce sites, right? Similarly, personalized recommendation in library management system. So based on user preferences, based on what course they are enrolled in, so, and based on the past borrowings, making those recommendations. So again, some of very powerful concepts. And I think I have seen, because I have done some analysis of ERPs or SaaS-based applications which are available in the marketplace, for the higher education institutes, including library management. So some of these features are getting incorporated. I see some of the vendors, are kind of, moving ahead of the curve, and around 6 months back when I did that assessment, they were implementing some of those features in the product offerings. So that's very good, to have all these features, to have some of these features enabled for our users to take their experience to the next level. I've also included certain scenarios, from the perspective of research. I know we have people from academic institutions and research institutions. So these are the areas where AI and generative AI can be used. I know these are very exhaustive processes, as part of research, whether it's literature review or data analysis, content generation, and other areas. But generative AI has a use case for you. And today in the demo, I'll be showcasing one tool, although I won't be able to showcase the whole, capability required for a research project, but I will at least talk about a tool, which can kind of pull data from various sources, and you can organize it properly, and it will facilitate your research process. So I wanted to kind of as part of this presentation definitely include library management and research management, how AI tools can help in those areas. So hopefully, these two slides were kind of useful. It got you thinking, and I think, as we go to the demo section, you will get some more ideas. So now we are moving to a very interesting section. Here it's called, AI tools for productivity and innovation. So here I'll just quickly walk through the list here, and then and after this we have a demo section. So Chat GPT, as I said, I've already showcased the capabilities of generative AI models. It's kind of a generic, you can do content creation, summarization, categorization, and other things which I mentioned here. Gemini and Claude, they are in the same category, so I've not repeated the content. So they are generic models. Perplexity is a tool that you must all evaluate. It's a web-based tool, and it's a advanced AI-powered search tool, and you will find that overall presentation from the output from Perplexity is much more, is better structured, and kind of and appears more informative. So I think you must try this tool. Elicit, I talked about a research tool earlier in the previous slide. So this particular tool searches across various academic journals, and you can do automated literature review, keyword searches, filtering, citation recommendation, evidence synthesis. It integrates with various systems, or library systems like JSTOR and other large databases, right? So very powerful tool to really expedite the research processes. Otter, you can do transcriptions, from audio to text. It can transcript and summarize your meeting. So this can be integrated, although I know Zoom and Google Meet, they have their own products to transcript and summarize, but this is a very powerful tool which can be integrated. And at the end of the meeting, it will create a summary notes for you. It will create, apart from transcriptions, it will create notes for you. It will generate all the action items which were talked about in the meeting. So very powerful tools that can be incorporated in our daily processes. Chat PDF, especially Chat PDF is a very powerful tool. Although this capability is enabled on Chat GPT also, but if you have a set of large PDF, right? So you can upload this PDF, and then you can chat with the PDF document. You can query the PDF document. So you can converse with the PDF document, right? So it's a very powerful tool, especially, for example, some of us who have to respond to RFPs, and there are lot of large documents. So you can, just plug that in, query the document, get to some key points, for quick assessment, and then then obviously you have to read the whole document later on you have to be diligent. But this tool can help you expedite the learning process to respond to your. It will also respond to your queries. You can get to the information very fast. Gamma, I'll be showcasing a tool called Gamma. Gamma is I think some of you may have used ChatGPT to generate PPTs, but Gamma takes it to the next level. So I will be demonstrating how Gamma can be used to generate, very nice professional, PPTs presentations, along with AI generated images. Zoho, Zapier. I just want to spend a minute on Zoho, Zapier. These are the platforms that can be used for various pre-built processes and workflow automation. So some of you who are looking forward to automating certain organization processes or workflows, Zoho and Zapier are very powerful tools. They also provide some pre-built processes. For example, chatbots can be configured in a short time. If you have an automation requirement, let's say a certain type of emails, a certain type of attachments which are coming through, you want to put them on Google Drive. You want to extract something from emails and make an entry in spreadsheet. So all those automations can be done. And again, Zoho, Zapier, if you have automation, workflow automation requirements, or a simple process automation requirements, I recommend that you must visit the sites here, the Zoho and Zapier, and see options available for process and workflow automations. Mid-Journey, again, on the right hand side, I'm reading here, we have tools like Mid-Journey, DALI, they can take text and create an image for you. Both Mid-Journey and DALI, very powerful tools. Sora is a new product getting launched from OpenAI, again, the company that launched ChatGPT. It can create a HD video based on text, right? Although I'll be showcasing, in video, which is listed below, because I don't yet have the subscription to Sora. Runaway, you create an image, you upload an image, and it'll create a video. You define, this image. Let's say you have a static image, right? A photograph, right? You can say, okay, make this person dance, make this person do this. So it'll create a video, along with that action, right? So it's a very powerful tool. The next one is 11 Labs and InVideo. Again, they are very powerful multimedia tools. I'll be showcasing, a video developed through InVideo, during the demo section. Synthesia, you can create from text, you can create speech. Speechify is also something similar. Suno is an app, you give a text and it will create music for you. I mean, even if you say make a Hindi song or romantic song or some song, and you have option to give your lyrics, the starting lyrics and all that. So it will complete that, it will create music for you. It's a very simple interface. So most of the tools are very simple. You have to just log in with your personal email ID. They provide free credits and you can give it a shot. Copilot and GitHub, code generation, very powerful tool, databases based on which you can generate code. I mean, these days, yes, we do write codes, but we seek help from some of these, platforms, including Copilot and ChatGPT and others. They have ingested a lot of code also with various languages, platforms, and they can also give you code. Although, yes, every code that is getting produced, you have to review and maybe refine it. But the basic code, the framework, you can pull out from these LLMs, right? So this is a very powerful, set of tools. Although the tool list is endless, but I've just picked up some tools which can be used in our everyday, processes, and that's why I call them very impactful, tools which can be leveraged for various purposes. So now we are starting the demos. ChatGPT, I'll start with ChatGPT. If required, I'll also use Claude. And these are, as I said, generative AI platform. And I'll showcase the general capabilities of these platform. The capabilities I talked about earlier. I'll also perform a data analysis and also talk about some formal techniques, of prompt engineering, how to get better output from various tools, right? So I'll talk about that. Then on the demo front, I'll also, at least open the elicit and kind of, showcase, some of the capabilities there. Chat PDF, I'll try to demonstrate. Again, you can just upload any document and, you can converse with the document. Very, very simple, but very powerful mechanism. Gamma, I will demonstrate, and in video also. All right. So let's start the, the demo section. So here I have opened ChatGPT. So I mean, to save time, I've already logged into these platforms, right? So that, so let me take a clean instance here. So I have logged into ChatGPT. You have to just search for chatgpt.com and log in with your personal ID. So this is very famous LLM. So let me showcase in the capabilities. ChatGPT can, when he said, it can generate text for you. So provide an essay on self-driving cars. Okay. So I'm just giving a prompt here, right? And it's starting an essay on self-driving cars, right? I'll just right. So it just gave me an essay on self-driving cars. Then let's say, also I've been asked in a lot of sessions, whether they have access to latest information. So provide so these models, some of these models are connected to the internet, right? So they can also pull out information from the web. So obviously this provide latest information on India Australia test series, right? This information was not fed into the system, but yet it's able to pull out from the web, right? So very powerful feature. These LLMs are integrated with the web and they can pull out the latest information. I've been also asked, whether they can, what information has been fed into them. So I think they have access to, they have pulled information from a lot of sources, including news sources. So millions of websites, they have crawled, and a lot of other journals and data sources. So that's why, they have so much capability. Let's say, so this, uh, so this essay that we created, right? Let me do so summarize the essay. So it will know the context, although in between I've given a different query. Summarize the essay into 2 paragraphs. Okay. Okay, it has, okay. So obviously, maybe it has taken this in context of the India Australia series. So it has given me a 2-paragraph summary of this test series, right? Okay. You can, as I said earlier, you can do sentiment analysis. Perform sentiment analysis on above, right? Let's see what happens. So here, so overall sentiment from the test series is a neutral to slightly positive, and it's talking about why these sentiments have been kind of provided. Let's say, let me kind of give one, provide an essay on self-driving cars, right? Okay, and I'll do a sentiment analysis on this particular text. Because I think I terminated the whole, the essay, and that's why it's giving this command. But it's okay. So now let me showcase another capability here. I talked about the data, data analysis, right? So here you have option to also attach a file, right? I'm just clicking on this icon, attachment, and upload a file. So here I'm going to, so I'm picking up let's say I'm picking up a file here, the CSV file. Okay, I'm uploading this file. So this file had information on salaries. For I think 10 employees, salary was given. Perform total on salary. So it's okay. So I will, because there is a sometimes using Claude as well as ChatGPT. So I moved to Claude because there was some limit, I was hitting there. So I'm going to Claude. Claude is something similar. You get a slightly different interface, and I'm attaching a file here. I'll go to so here I'll attach the same file, salary data, and upload the file. So it's pulling up the file, and then it is for the analysis. This is pulling out Python code also, which we don't need, but it's doing that. So now what I've done, so it has pulled up the file, and then if you see what it's done, it has imported the file, and then it's it's also done some, by default it has gone ahead and done some analysis. Average salary is this much, highest salary is this much, and without asking a question, because it assumed that a file is being uploaded, I will need some analysis. It has done some analysis here, right? So let me kind of submit a basic prompt. Provide total of salary, right? Okay, so it has also given me the total of salary, right? So very powerful concept of uploading a file. I can say perform so data analysis. I can also say create a bar chart. Let's see. I mean, typically they differ in capabilities. Okay, so for as I said, it had set of 10 employees and the salary, so it's done a bar chart for me. So hopefully this short demo of ChatGPT, you're able to kind of see the capabilities, the textual capabilities, and also the data capabilities, right? The presentation here, because here I want to talk about some of the advanced techniques. Although I have to I'll showcase other tools also, but since I'm discussing ChatGPT and Cloud, let me talk about a concept called prompt engineering. So I just gave you a demo of how to use ChatGPT in Cloud, and I gave commands around text, I gave commands around data, right? So what I was doing was I was doing prompting. That's called prompting. Here I was doing zero prompting. What that means is I was just asking ChatGPT or Cloud to respond to my commands, right? And I was just asking, I was just describing the task without any example, right? So that's called zero shot prompting. So you will find, so this is a very effective way. It's able to respond to my questions, my queries, and data analysis, all right. But you will find you can get a better response, for those cases. So hello.
Mr. Arora, I believe some internet speed issue, because we are not able to hear you properly right now. I think, yes. Maybe perhaps for some time we will just keep the camera off and have the audio only, because could feel that, because we are not able to get, yes, please, thank you.
Is it, you can hear me now?
Yes, indeed, yeah, this is better. This is entirely better. Yes, please.
Yeah, so I was saying, although I gave a demo and showcased the capabilities, and it worked out very well, but there are ways to get better results for certain use cases. It's called prompting techniques. So what I did earlier was a zero-shot prompting, where I was just asking a question and it was able to respond, right? Now, there are other techniques too, which are listed here. Very briefly, few shot prompting. Few shot prompting is a technique where you can provide an example right here. You can give an example, and then it will learn from the overall tone and style and will respond appropriately. Right here, so I've given an example here. So I think it's all they're able to comprehend the English language, right? So I mean, you don't have to follow a particular template. You can just say, create an essay on this, and here's a sample for you, right? You can just include a paragraph, right? So you can say, create a testimonial. Here is a sample testimonial. So it'll learn from the style, tone, and you will find that it'll do a better job, right, of creating whatever text you want to create. There's another thing called few shot, although it's not mentioned here. There you can give more than one example. In one shot you give one example. In few shot you can give multiple examples. There's a very powerful concept called role-based prompting. So when you say, okay, give me an essay on self-driving cars, it gave me a good response, right? But but to get a better output, you can say, as a automobile researcher, or a AI researcher working in automobile field, give me essay on self-driving cars. You will find the level of depth, the details are much more, it is much more detailed, and it will give you a better response. For example, you are creating a marketing email campaign, right? You can say, create an email campaign for this launch. You can say, as a marketing advisor, as a marketing expert, as a digital marketing expert, give me a email campaign for for this launch. You will get a better response. So role based is very powerful prompting technique, where you assign a role to LLM, and it will kind of align its output based on a lot of data which has been fed in from that role perspective. Chain of thought. So chain of thought, and one more prompt, which is technique structured. Typically when, let's say, you're working on a strategy document, you're working on your company plans and all that. So typically these two prompts, the chain of thought and structure, you can use this prompts. Here you can give very elaborate prompts. You can say, calculate the ROI for marketing campaign, this, and you can say, okay, explain the steps, or go do the analysis as per the following steps. So typically for complex tasks like proposals, strategy, plans, growth plans, you can use these two prompts and ask it to go as per the steps, or other recommendations. You can provide, you can attach some reference document also, create the output in this template, right? So they are very powerful prompts to get some complex work done. Style based, again, you can specify the tone, style, and format of the response. So similar to few shot, where you may be providing a tone and a style, but there's a style based prompting also, where you say, write a professional response to our client requesting an update and all that. Creative, in creative prompting, inspire imaginative or out of box thinking. Here it suggests 3 innovative ways to increase team collaboration. So I think these are some very good powerful prompting techniques which will help you get better output from these LLMs or systems, and if you try, you will see a difference in the quality of output, right? So hopefully this was useful. As I said earlier, in the demo section, I said I'll be showcasing few more capabilities. So let me now switch and kind of show something else here. To save time, I have logged into these platforms. So I said there's a platform called Gamma, right? So I can also generate a PPT in Chat GPT and say, give me, for example, I've logged into Gamma. Let me give a prompt here. Create a PPT on AI in library management. Let's see that, right? So let's try this prompt. Generate outline. So when you click on this, it is giving me a general outline how it will proceed. It said it'll create 8 slides or 8 cards, and I say, okay, there are some options below which I'm not setting at this stage. I'm just saying generate, right? So let's see what it does. Okay. So if you see, I'm just scrolling up here. So this is so you saw that prompt. It was a very simple prompt. It was a very simple prompt, and it has created this PPT for me, and also it has also included the AI generated images. So look at the quality of this presentation. AI in library management. I'm scrolling down. Resource discovery. Enhancing pattern experience. Predictive analytics for collection. Recommendation system that we talked about earlier, right? Okay. So I mean, this is hopefully you all agree that this is a very good presentation created by this tool. Again, I'm using a free version here, and very powerful, right? Feature here. Very quickly, I'll just want to go to one more demo. Okay, so there's another tool called InVideo. So what happens is, I've already created the video, because video generation process typically will take some time, right? It takes 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and also in between it'll prompt you for some information. So to ensure that I can quickly demonstrate video creation through text, I've already created this just before the our session. So here this is the tool called InVideo.ai, right? I've logged in, and my prompt was very simple. It's appearing on the top: AI and robotics revolutionizing library management. The same prompt I gave for Gamma for presentation, I gave it here, almost same, and it has already produced this output. So let me just play this video.
You need to hear this if you're a librarian looking for a futuristic boost. Imagine walking into your library and everything just works. Shelves perfectly organized, easy to find, and overdue notices are a thing of the past. Sounds like magic, right? But it's not. It's AI and robotics. With AI, your library catalog updates itself, recommends books based on reader preferences, and even predicts what title you'll need more of. Robots can handle the heavy lifting, literally bang. They sort, delve, and even books straight to pages. Use technology to free up time so you can focus on what really matters, connecting with your community and fostering a love for reading. Plus, they make your library more efficient, cost-effective, and ready for the future. So why wait? Embrace the tech revolution and watch your library transform. The future is here, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So hopefully, these two demos were kind of, insightful, and you can see how you can use some of these AI tools to generate professional presentations and also to create videos in minutes. So here, very quickly, because we are, I think, over the time limit here. So I'll quickly cover last two sections. The AI myths. We visited this slide earlier, and we talked about certain myths. So let me go through the reality. Hopefully, the discussions today, the demos today, will kind of help you comprehend, some of the comments mentioned here. AI is a recent phenomena. So I said earlier in the timeline, AI is evolving for last 6, 7, 8 decades, right? AI will take over the world. AI, if you see these tools I demonstrated, typically AI systems are very task specific. They will do text to image, text to video, very specific. They get trained on a specific task, so they're not kind of taking over everything, right? AI is 100% objective. So AI can also reflect biases in training data. What if your training data is not accurate? Good. Obviously, it won't be objective, right? AI learns and understands like human. Yes, the overall system is designed like that, but it lacks emotions and genuine understanding. And that's why when we train AI systems, they require human input for improvement. So that's how AI systems get trained. They also seek human input. AI will replace all jobs. Obviously there's a possibility to automate a lot of tasks, but again, it's creating a lot of new roles and enhance the human capability. Again, this is a big topic, but I'm just providing a very specific comment here. AI is flawless and never fails. AI can make error. It's called hallucination. It can, if it's not trained properly, it can make errors. So that's why AI system needs monitoring and updates. AI cannot be regulated. Yes, that's what we have been hearing, all the time. But a lot of rules, regulations are coming up. A lot of governments and organizations are actively creating AI regulations. You see that happening around data and all that. So a lot of things happening on regulation front. AI can solve any problem. Again, this is not correct. AI systems are programmed and trained to excel in specific tasks. All the demos that we saw, all the use cases we talked about. Again, to make it work, lot of effort, lot of training, lot of technology goes into that, right? Right. So AI is kind of is a problem specific. You have to program them for a specific task. AI is only for big companies. Again, we showcase today. Yes, typical deep learning, machine learning was for big companies. You need big infrastructure, technical team. But we showcase today through generative AI that generative AI can be used by anyone without even technical knowledge, without any investments, right? So that's the power of generative AI, which is leading a big revolution out there. The last one is AI needs technical sales, skill set, and again, generative AI. That's the power of generative AI. You are able to use power of AI without having technical knowledge, infrastructure, or coding experience, right? So that's the hopefully we have kind of some of the myths that we talked about are much more clear. So last section is ethical AI, right? So when we talk about AI technology, we must also talk about the ethical AI. What this means is, the AI system, the AI systems, should be, should be secure, ensure data privacy, should be fair and unbiased, should be accountable, transparent, protect copyright and IP, and compliant with the regulations. I mean, these are typical features that are expected in an AI system. And why it is relevant? Because AI systems, they make decision based on some data, right? They have been trained on data. They have been trained on patterns, right? What if this data has some inherent biases, right? So obviously AI system will make wrong decisions, right? For example, if a self-driving car crashes, who's responsible? The car manufacturer, the AI system, or the person who was supposed to oversee, the overall, and intervene at the right time, right? So AI systems, they need to have these properties. Again, AI, ethical AI is a big subject, but I wanted to at least touch upon these, things. For example, accountable. AI is being used for a lot of deep fake videos, right? So how to control this? So regulation, will definitely come up, to manage these things. Data security and privacy is an issue in normal automation also, and it's a bigger issue in AI, because you need a lot of data to train the system, right? So I just wanted you to be aware of the parameters of ethical AI, right? So hopefully it has given you some visibility there. The future trends, again, very quickly. So what we are witnessing right now is the generative AI dominance. This whole session, and most of it was, and especially the demo, was about generative AI. So generative AI is taking over. I mean, it's getting better. A lot of new models are getting launched. It will have advanced human language understanding capability. AI system with human-like reasoning, right? So there's a lot of things happening on multimodal front, ability on the multimedia front. So generative AI, this wave will further surge, and I think there'll be many use cases and more tools that will get launched. AI ethics and regulation. Obviously, there's a lot of demand to have regulation around AI ethics, and I think we are seeing a lot of progress happening around us, and we'll see various countries, organizations, releasing regulation to manage the overall, ecosystem. Edge AI, AI deployment on edge devices. We have seen it. For example, for us, smartphones. Our smartphones are AI enabled. We can talk to them, right? So we will see more deployments on, on devices, on consumer goods. AI in healthcare is already a big thing, but I think we'll see the advantages of AI in healthcare. We keep hearing about certain institute doing this, but I think the AI in healthcare, preventive healthcare, all these use cases will get will be kind of will be used by many more hospitals, right? AI powered creativity, again, this is already happening. AI powered music, games, presentations. So it's already happening, but I think it will further grow. Autonomous systems and robotics, right? I mean self-driving cars, I keep talking about this because this is the ultimate use case of AI technologies. AI in education is also gaining ground. I talked about certain use cases earlier. Foundation model specialization. Here today we talked about Chat GPT and Cloud and named few more, right? But I think there's a lot of specialization that is happening. Domain specific models are getting generated, healthcare, finance, and others, right? So we will see that happening, so that there'll be more use cases, more tools, which can leverage such specialized language models. And again, there'll be human AI collaboration. So I think how to kind of integrate things and make it better, using the feedback loops. So that's all I had in my session here. I know we have exceeded the time limit, but I think now we'll have a quick Q&A session.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Arora, for a truly enlightening and exhaustive, empowering, excellent, extraordinary session on AI, busting all the myths. We can't really thank you enough for such an incredible talk that you have delivered. And right from, you have dwelt in such a lucid manner, right from the evolution to the revolution of AI. And also the tools, we could see that in the chat, while you were demonstrating that, and not much of interest that it has been able to garner among our attendees here. And thank you so very much, because this would definitely be, inspiring everyone to come forward and making the best use of these tools. And we cannot really could have thought about, means taking care of the session in the most effective manner without your expertise. You are such a seasoned expert on AI, and right from the genesis to where the AI is moving, where we stand, and how the the entire world of AI is moving, you have really been able to do in such a remarkable manner. We remain truly grateful to you for this. And there are many takeaways, even for an organization like DELNET. I can very well see that, because you have been very kind and gracious in focusing also on these tools, which holds a great significance, especially for the librarians, library community, and also for researchers and scholars. And the major takeaway for us is also to further take it to the next level, and maybe perhaps through our online systems, we'll try to see to further popularize the use of this. And in the days to come, we would be wanting to hold some in-person workshops also, and helping the community much more, in seeing to it that they're able to implement, these AI tools. Thank you very much indeed for sensitizing, our attendees about it, and we remain truly grateful to you for your time and efforts in being there and sharing your vast expertise with each one of us. With your permission now, Mr. Arora, quickly, we may like to make the floor open. We have fairly around 1,000 attendees who are right now attending the session online right now. And because of paucity of time, I would like to request our attendees, please kindly, you can place your question in the chat box, because it would not be feasible for us to give an audio connect right now because of a huge large number of our colleagues who are being here. We would appreciate if you can put your question in the chat box, and we would be more than happy to get you connected with our esteemed speaker and to get his views. I would like to take the questions from the chat box, and to start off, this is a question coming from Dr. Vijay Kumar Verma from IIT Delhi, and though you have also covered, but he would just like to say, he would like to ask Mr. Arora to you that, sir, one of the issues is hallucination. You had though covered also in your presentation. One of the issues is hallucination and providing wrong information in many cases. So how to tackle this problem? So you would be the best person to guide through that, how these systems, are being trained, in order to avoid such kind of scenarios. Over to you, Mr. Arora.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Vijay Kumar, for this. I think excellent question. Although I briefly touched upon this concept. So usually, we have seen this happening, whether it's ChatGPT or others. They hallucinate because, let's say there's a question, if the LLM is not trained adequately, on that particular aspect, they don't have, good amount of data. They seem to hallucinate. And also, one of the recent examples in one of the sessions, I conducted, I'll give you an example here. When somebody queried, who is Ratan Tata, so rather than saying, he was saying the chairman of, Tata Sons and all that. So someone prompted, is he alive? He said, yes, he's alive. So what is happening is, so it seems in this particular case, this is again my understanding. I don't know how many things are, designed. It seems, it had pre-fed information. They were trained on Ratan Tata and his position, right? And his passing away, is a recent event. Somehow there was a disconnect, although it can go out to internet and web and search for it. But somehow, in this particular case, I will explain that as there's a disconnect between what was internally available within the LLM and also in the recent, event. So there was a sync up problem. It was not able to respond appropriately. So I think I'll go back to my original response. If they are not trained appropriately, and also if there is a recent event and the data is not updated, it may get confused. I mean, that's what happened, in this Ratan Tata ji example, which we experienced recently in one of the sessions. It was not able to sync up, although it had access to web to get to latest information and also pre-trained information. So I think, it's a very vast subject. I think only way we can avoid this, be very specific. But yes, if the data is not appropriate, is not complete, it will still hallucinate. But I think by using right prompting techniques, we can be very specific, and we can also ask it to connect to the net, to the web, and find the latest information.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arora. I can see that, the entire chat box is flooded with the questions for you. And another question coming, and this is from Dr. Prakash IN, who is from Alliance University in Bangalore. And the question is how to avoid the information security of the documents that we upload for generating the analysis. And he's also keen that if we can show the settings in the portal, in the ChatGPT or in the cloud.
Yeah, so very good question here. Yes, if we, for example, if we are uploading something, if we are uploading Excel data and performing some tasks, so how to ensure data security? So there are a couple of options here, especially available on ChatGPT. If you're doing some sensitive analysis, there is on the top there is a drop down, which is you can enable a temporary chat, and and if you do that, it won't save your chat, whatever you're doing in that session, in the chat history. Also, what happens is, a lot of enterprises are using ChatGPT and others, right? So when you go for the enterprise account, there's a flag you can set. It's called, if you don't want ChatGPT to learn from your data, right? So you can set that flag, and it won't, based on whatever you do, it won't learn from that. Typically, when you upload something, because as I said, AI systems are in the self-learning mode also, but you can disable the self-learning when you're doing something sensitive. And most of the enterprises using at least ChatGPT, they have disabled this learn from my data mode, so that their data remains secure, nothing is leaked. And also there are a lot of other options. When, for example, in some of the recent sessions, we had people from defense and healthcare, right? Obviously, they are not comfortable using, these models which are on the cloud. So they're using LLMs which are local copy of LLMs, again in the secure environments. When you're dealing with, very secure and sensitive and confidential data, like healthcare, finance. So a lot of large organizations, they're creating their own language models, fine tuning it, and doing their AI systems based on that.
Thank you very much indeed. Another question, and this is for you, Mr. Arora, from Mr. Manohar Pathak, who is wanting to know that some of the free tools for building up the chatbot, especially for libraries, he's asking, but even generic, because we do have, our colleagues from other disciplines too. But yes, wanting more to, develop and build up a chatbot for libraries. So the free tools he's wanting to, know about it.
Yeah.
For chatbot.
So yes, sir. I will recommend. I think there are many tools. Chatbots, functionality is exploding, and a lot of players are offering it. But my recommendation is, if you want to quickly learn, go to Zapier or Zoho. So my recommendation is Zapier. I could not demonstrate because of the limited time we had today. So go to Zapier. They allow a very simple chatbot implementation. Obviously, chatbot will need information. You can plug in information from a website. You can upload the documents, and you can then it will allow users to kind of to chat based on the information uploaded by you. So just go to Zapier, look at the quick demo, and then obviously if you need any subsequent help, you can connect with me. I'm available on LinkedIn. We can connect and I'll help you.
Thank you very much. Another question. This is from Dr. Ishapa Banti from Mahe Bangalore, who is wanting to know about the 5 AI tools useful for libraries. And Dr. Banti, for this, we would just like to mention that this is a major takeaway for DELNET also from this session, that we may like to include, and with the passage of time, we'll develop a major portal. But to start off, we will create now a major link for AI tools for libraries, researchers, scholars, as well as for the institutions. And we collectively, means this is, with having the experts with us, and also everyone, to contribute towards it. So in the days to come, maybe another 1 month time, we will try to collate, these best of the tools, what have been also highlighted by Mr. Arora today. And we would again be seeking his advice, as he just mentioned about chatbot, like using Zapier. So we would like to consolidate, and would like to even make it available through our discovery portal. We will try to have a particular focus, on this AI tools for libraries, researchers, scholars. And collectively means we would also be wanting others who have already implemented and creating it more as a knowledge sharing platform for implementation of AI tools in the libraries. So thank you very much for this. This is from Raksha Chaudhary, and who is wanting to know from you, Mr. Arora, about the use of blockchain in libraries or in institutions as such for the blockchain implementations.
Yeah. So great question. Blockchain typically, yes, it can be, interface with the AI, but typically the use cases for blockchain are slightly different in nature. Although you can implement it in a lot of use cases, blockchain is typically recommended when you need a immutable system. If a transaction has happened, it cannot be changed. You want immutability, you want transparency, you want transparent transactions. So you recommend a blockchain. For example, I'll give an illustration here. CBSE has started releasing class 10th and 12th results on blockchain, because a lot of frauds were happening, fake certificates. So institutions can go to CBSE through blockchain, they can authenticate. Another very good use case of blockchain is land records. A lot of scams happened on land records, right? Fake papers, properties getting sold like that, right? And people getting stuck. So a lot of states in India, a lot of districts in India, especially in Telangana, they are doing blockchain-based land records. So here the reason is you want a single source of truth. You want immutability, something that has been recorded cannot be changed. So for such requirements, blockchain is recommended. So hopefully I answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Perhaps the last question that we may like to take because of paucity of time, and we may also like to mention that we may also like to have an FAQ on AI, and that we may like to, bring in all the questions with the, the answers coming in from our experts, and we may also like to do it, the similar kind of a thing what just have been asked by even by Dr. Ayan Prakash. So those kind of questions with the replies, we will also like to, create and develop a major knowledge base on AI. This is a question that, this is from Dr. Ravi A, who is basically wanting to know about the stock verification which we undertake in the libraries, but more to ask you, Mr. Arora, this is for the inventory control. Are there any AI tools for inventory control that happens in the institutions, and that's also being a part and parcel of our library collections also for inventory control?
Yeah, so very good question, because I was briefly involved in a research and higher education student, and we were looking at various products. We were looking for a software products, right? And then we were also looking at, some advanced library management systems. So I have seen RFID based systems, being deployed, which kind of, takes stock taking very easy, checkout, check-ins, very easy. So I've seen some large, as I said earlier, a lot of players are implementing new techniques in their library management systems, including interfaces. I mean, barcodes obviously is a default, everyone will have a barcode, but RFID based systems, so that the whole process of book management, library management becomes easy. I mean, similar to what happens in stores. Like, I was at a store recently, and I experienced a purely self checkout process, where based on you put the product in the bin and it will generate an invoice for you, you make a payment and you just walk away, right? So library management, yes, with various technology, especially RFID and other scanners and other things, I think these advancements we'll see in the future. And I think Dr. Sangeeta, I'll agree with you. Some of the questions that came up, very good questions, including this one. We can do an offline research and do something about this, right? And to help our participants, and issue a provide a paper or something like that, right?
Yes, surely, indeed. This is one of the questions from Mr. Herman Iftikhar. He is from JRF at University of Lucknow, and saying, what's common policy about AI democratization? What's blockchain role in shaping ethical AI governance? And he's a research scholar from University of Lucknow.
Yeah, so the first part of the question, I think, we have seen, generative AI is enabling AI for, everyone, right? As I said, some of the tools, techniques, you don't have to be a techie, to use those. I think it is really changing, it's making AI accessible to everyone, generative AI technologies. And the second part, yes, blockchain, as I said earlier, slightly, yes, it can be integrated with, AI systems also for certain use cases. So, for example, land records, obviously, it can be done on. It is recommended to do on blockchain. But yes, AI functionality can also be integrated to make it more useful, more user friendly, right? So I think there'll be certain use cases, and I'm also taking this point for me, action item for me. How blockchain, what are the use cases for blockchain and AI, coming together and solving some real, issues, right? Yep, thank you for that question.
Some of the best practices, yeah, Mr. Arora. I think there is a greater need also to showcase some of the best implementations which have happened, because they will become as more inspiring stories. We need to have success stories of implementation of AI in specific domains. So though we have this entire group of our colleagues here, they are from the world of libraries, so we should be, I think, DELNET may like to take a lead in this, and with the availability and the guidance of our experts like you around, Mr. Arora, we may really like to create a very major big knowledge base on AI, and our focus definitely would remain for libraries, for education, for researcher community. And I think today we have made a beginning in this by having such a wonderful deliberations here, very exhaustive, in-depth deliberations, and it's all because of your being here with us. So you have really been able to inspire us to the core, to everyone, and not only the organizers, but each one of us, to really think in terms of practically implementing these tools and technologies, and that always drives, the movement. Like, and we are able to see how all these myths which have been centered around the AI, and as you have in such a wonderful manner have even shown that, what is exactly the reality, and we can see that this has got a great potential, infinite possibilities, and we need to really harness that power of using AI in our respective spaces wherever we are. And thank you very much, Mr. Arora. And I would just like to mention to our colleagues who are here and who have posted many of the questions, we would just like to sincerely would request you for your understanding, because the entire chat box here, is being flooded with the questions. And you can appreciate, because of paucity of time, Mr. Arora also has another assignment for the day being there. And he has been so very kind and gracious in making it possible for us to having yet another half an hour of him. And we would really like to create this entire question bank firstly, and would also like to generate many other questions concerning the use of AI tools in our libraries. And yet another 1 month's time, we can assure you from DELNET that those of you who are the members, you would be able to see a very massive, some kind of a good coverage of the content which will be available. And we will also try to hold many of the programs more specialized. Mr. Arora, we would really like to continue our association, and we would like to have a very pinpointed, maybe, a session just simply on Claude, or maybe on some of the particular tools which holds a great significance, especially for our libraries and also for researchers, and then to create as a very major big resource which can be used across in the institutions. So this is to inform all our colleagues that in next few weeks' time, you will be able to hear. And please do kindly also send us your queries concerning AI, because this will always be helpful to you in further, creating and developing, this entire knowledge base on AI for libraries, with a special focus on libraries and researchers and scholars. So thank you very much, Mr. Arora. We really can't thank you enough. And what wonderful presentation, truly an inspiring presentation, that you have made. And as I said, this is a beginning we have made, and in the days to come, we really would like to have also the in-person workshops. Definitely, we would like to have it in the hybrid mode, but also to have more in-person workshops also for our library and researcher community. So thank you so very much once again, and we remain ever grateful to you. And may I have a pleasure of requesting you to accept this a small memento, and we would like to invite you someday at your convenience. And this is a memento from DELNET and from each one of us, nearly 1,000 attendees who have been here today and who got immensely benefited with their tremendous contribution indeed, it was an eye-opener. It was truly an enlightened morning for us, and you have been able to, so graciously being able to cover number of aspects, concerning AI, and that in such a very simple and lucid manner, for which we remain truly grateful to you, Mr. Arora. Thank you so very much. Any concluding words, like you may like to give to our entire attendees over here who are here and who have been really so immensely being benefited with your presence today?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sangeeta and DELNET, for the opportunity. I'm honored to be here, and for this presentation and session. Also very insightful for me based on the questions. So thank you all the participants. I think esteemed participants. The quality of questions. So I think it is prompting me to think ahead, and then address some of those challenges which were talked about. So looking forward to further involvement, engagement, in initiatives to help take this dialogue further. So thank you very much once again from my side.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Arora. Thank you. Looking forward, to inviting you someday to DELNET, and it would truly be a pleasure for us to have our continued, collaboration with you, and to ensure that practically on the ground in the libraries, we are able to make, the best use of the AI technologies and tools. So thank you so very much indeed once again. So with this, we are on the closure. Thank you so much. With this, we are on the closure of our very first session of the program, the online program that we are holding it today, the AI for Everyone, Myths Busted, Celebrating Library Networking Day 2024. And this is just to request everyone, it's 1:05 right now. We would like to be back here at sharp 1:30 for our second presentation of the day, which is on the landscape of artificial intelligence in academic libraries, opportunities and challenges. And we have our distinguished speaker, Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj, who would be joining us at 1:30 p.m. So we have another 25 minutes with us, and we would request you don't log out, stay tuned in, and the platform remains connected. So we are going to be back here and resume our second session at sharp 1:30. Right now it is 1:04, requesting you to join us in another 26 minutes time for our another presentation, and that is especially about the use of AI in libraries. And we have Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj, the librarian at St. Stephen's College, and a very experienced speaker who has also been involved with a number of the projects concerning AI. He will be there with us this afternoon in another 25 minutes time. We would be resuming, and we request you to join us. So you need not to log out, just kindly log in and remain logged into the system, and we will be resuming our second presentation at 1:30. We have truly appreciated and admired your being here and also being being such an engaging attendees, asking your questions and the queries, because you have also inspired DELNET, to think about starting off some very constructive work, to do it when we think about implementing AI. So we will be really happy to initiate that, and because that has been the major takeaway for us by organizing, and we can see that also the kind of an interest which has generated, and that speaks volumes that yes, everyone is interested, and we have to harness the power of AI, and we will be very glad to work together to see to it that practically we are able to make a difference. So thank you very much once again, each one of you, and we really look forward to resuming our second presentation at 1:30 today. So thank you so much once again, and the platform remains active, and so don't log out also. Just stay tuned in, and we will start off at sharp 1:30. Thank you very much once again, one and all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dr. Raj?
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you. So we are all set, right? Yes, yeah. This is to welcome you, each one of our attendees back, into our session, the second session of the day wherein we are celebrating the Library Networking Day, and we are holding this online program on AI for everyone. Myths busted. We're just been through with our first session, which was on harnessing the power of AI, and now we are inching towards having the second session, which is on landscape of artificial intelligence in academic libraries. And we have with us a very distinguished speaker, a seasoned professional colleague, Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj. So firstly, Dr. Raj, we extend a very hearty welcome to you, and thank you so very much, in spite of you being traveling, for academic work, and you have been so gracious and kind. And thank you very much for your immense support, which is always appreciated and admired by each one of us. And thank you so very much for making it possible to have you with us today. I have immense pleasure in welcoming Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj, and also in introducing everyone in our profession is fully knowing about Dr. Raj, and also to his remarkable contributions that he has been making in the profession. And it is indeed a pleasure for me to make an attempt, to introduce and make you all aware about his contributions to the profession. Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj is currently as a chief librarian, serving as a chief librarian in India's one of the most prestigious college, St. Stephen College at University of Delhi. And he is undoubtedly a most accomplished professional who has received several prestigious awards and accolades for his contributions and also for the research endeavors. As a recipient of the Commonwealth Professional Fellowship in the United Kingdom, Dr. Bhardwaj has demonstrated his commitment to excellence in his field. He has also been awarded with numerous awards, including the Informatics Innovation Award 2022, Informatics Outstanding Researcher Award 2022, and also Asiala Outstanding Research Award 2022, which was bestowed at AMU. He is also currently serving as a chief librarian at St. Stephen, and Previously, he played a very pivotal role as an assistant professor at the School of Information and Communication Studies at Central University of Punjab, wherein Dr. Raj was instrumental in establishing the department and designing the curriculum according to the National Education Policy 2020. With a strong educational background, he has an extensive publication record with over 65 publications, and we heartily congratulate Dr. Raj for his remarkable contributions to the world of academics and reputed journals he has been published, and just to name some of the esteemed publishers, including Emerald, Taylor and Francis, Cambridge, and wherein he has authored articles, books, and also has reviews and course content to his credit. His expertise is sought after globally, and he has also delivered more than 100 invited talks, including, also his lectures have been telecasted on the television DTH channels. He also trained librarians of more than 500 government schools in Delhi, which is quite remarkable in the last 10 years through the in-service training programs. And his research projects has made a significant impact and has completed 5 major projects while actively participating in several international projects. I would also like to brief you that Dr. Bhardwaj holds esteemed positions in the international organizations, and which is a matter of great pride for each one of us. He is the information coordinator and standing committee member of IFLA at Hague, Netherlands, the IM section, contributing to the development of information services globally. He's also a jury member of the International Paper Contest of Assist USA, recognizing his expertise and judgment in the field. And in addition to his professional accomplishments, Dr. Bhardwaj is also a founder of the startup ISVI, further showcasing his entrepreneurial spirit and innovative mindset. And I'm very pleased and honored to inform you all that he has also received an international recognition, including the Diversity Scholarship Award 2022 from USA. It's always such an immense pleasure. We feel so very happy and delighted, Dr. Raj, the enormous contributions that you are making so selflessly, always available, to the profession, to the professionals. It's truly remarkable. We wish you the very best, and it's indeed always a pleasure, to have you with us. And thank you so very much for your tremendous support to DELNET and also to the entire professional fraternity. May I have a pleasure of requesting you to kindly now deliver the talk on landscape of artificial intelligence in academic libraries, opportunities and challenges, or perhaps challenges and opportunities. So it's over to you, Dr. Raj.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And thank you for this generous introductions. I express my gratitude to you for giving me this opportunity. Believe me, it's a great honor to speak on the birth anniversary of Dr. H.K. Kaul. I received such a love and affection from him. So I have my own self-commitment to support all the DELNET activities, irrespective I'm in Delhi or anywhere. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity. It's a great honor. Good afternoon to each one of you who present and joining us today to celebrate this Library Networking Day on the birth anniversary of Dr. H.K. Kaul. And today I'm going to speak about the artificial intelligence. And this artificial intelligence my expertise is not very old. We just last couple of years ago applied for, not a couple of months ago, we applied for one project in the US, and we got that that proposal was accepted for the project. And then I started researching about what this artificial intelligence is all about. So there are a lot of tutorials, videos are available on the internet, and you can learn many things. It's not difficult to learn how these tools and techniques works. But my area and my agenda today is to inculcate the discernibility among the library information science professionals, so that they can not just start an artificial literacy program, intelligence literacy program, but they can also discern which tool they should adopt. So if we divide various tools and technique and apply in the libraries, I can say that there are 3 categories where artificial intelligence can be applied in libraries. One is that you have to integrate AI in your existing system, whether it's a ILMS or this LMS or whatever tools you have repositories. So integration is one area where you can play a major role. You can have a significant impact of artificial intelligence. And the other area is that you just prepare tools to monitor how your systems behaves. What are the artificial intelligence? If you integrate in different tools and technologies, you can monitor their performances. So that's a second area. And the third is you can use the existing tools. We have a chat GPT, we have a Alicet. There are numerous tools which can convert text to videos. They can convert video to text. You can also extract text from images now. And there were also misconception that these tools, chat GPT, large language models tools, are not up to date. But if you see the chat GPT 4.0 onwards and the Gemini advanced versions, they are actually backed by the search engine. So in the real-time data also they can ingest in the system. So that's a misconceptions now that AI, this existing system, are outdated. That's not the case. But as a librarians, we need to have a discernibility how to actually apply AI in a higher education institution and academic life in particular. And that's our agenda. So we go back to this agenda and we'll understand how this AI is actually beneficial for us, what are different challenges, what are different opportunity for library information for the science profession. Because believe me, AI is bizarrely simple and bizarrely sophisticated technology. So there are different layers of technologies are integrated into the AI, and that we need to understand. Because if you not understand the different layers of AI, there are different concerns and we can be in trouble. And because that all AI, if you see there, they are decided that they are built by the homogeneous group of handful of corporate houses, and they are dictating a term. So artificial intelligence is not just a technology, it's a politically also. That also you need to understand how they are dominating. These forces are dominating. So it's not just technology, it is a political agenda also, you can say, and that we need to understand how this. So this presentation I have taken from different sources, and I'm not claiming copyright on them. I'm just using them for informational purpose. And what we will cover is all about all these aspects which I just discussed. But before we move, we need to understand how this AI was started. We are talking about the AI was started in 1956, or before that you will say, Alan Turing started the Turing test, through which we can determine who is human and which is machines. So Turing test was invented. But if you go back in early 20th century, Charles Babbage, who was considered as an inventor of the computer, he said there are three activities in the industry happens. One is a surveillance, another is a computation, and third activity is a labor forces. And he said that the labor forces is one area which is very untrustworthy. So he tried to automate this human workforce, and the AI is also a subset of that. So interestingly, Charles Babbage was very brilliant mechanical engineers and philosophers, scientists. He didn't go to the school. He was directly admitted to Cambridge University, and thereafter he got the graduate degree from the Cambridge. So Charles Babbage contribution is remarkable, no doubt. But the focus was only on the manpowers, so that how you can extract the maximum labor, how you can indulge, and how you can take a maximum output from the labor forces. And that same is happening in the AI. So AI, whether it's Alan Turing or McCarthy, the idea is same, to take maximum from the labor forces. And thereafter the machine learning came. So machine learning is not about AI, it's a subset of AI which actually you train the machine to take the decisions. And the deep learning is just beyond that, that there is a huge amount of data which are stored in the neural networks, and machine can decide in the one of the subset in the machine learning is a reinforcement learning, so that you see the driverless cars. So that is actually the one subset of the deep learning. Another subset of deep learning is a generative AI nowadays, which is a buzz, chat GPT, Gemini, lot of things. So generative AI, this chat GPT, there are two technologies involved with it. One is a generative and another is a conversational. So whenever you are integrating AI in the libraries, that you need to understand these are the two technologies. One is conversational. So AI technologies in the libraries giving us an opportunity. Now the users not just can retrieve the content from the system, but they can actually converse with the system. So get the appropriate content. So that's the beauty of the generative AI technology, which is a conversational and as well as a generative. So you need to understand this machine learning. Machine learning has two categories. One is a supervised machine learning, another is a unsupervised machine learning. So in unsupervised machine learning, machine is not being supervised. Machine is doing its own ways to classify the document and establish a relationship between them. But in the supervised learning, there are a workforce involved, and that's our argument is AI is a superficial AI, but there is actually unacknowledged labor forces from developing and underdeveloped countries who are behind this AI platform. So you need to have a discernibility. So who is benefiting from this AI? That is also the librarian's job, to educate the society, our users, that who is going to benefit from this AI. Now, to what extent we need to apply in our libraries. So that is a different agenda we will need to have in our libraries to make, because libraries are a democratic institution, and if you not educate your user about different segments of the AI, your AI literacy programs cannot be impactful. So in large language model, what happens so far in the AI technology before this generative AI was there since, I was saying that since Charles Babbage, we have been trying to accept from the labor forces. And in 2021, generative AI came into that picture when this language model started generating the content. So how it is happening? Through the OCR also, library was not achieving 100% from image to text. But suddenly, these large language models are giving us so much accurate information. Even the small comma, hyphens, nothing was missing. It's 100% grammatical accurate. So how this happened, that you need to understand. So IBM was doing the research on this, and suddenly there were a lot of failures IBM faced. But IBM inducted one person. His name was Robert Mercer in the team, that how to improve these translations and how to improve this text generation content. So this Robert Mercer gave an idea to the IBM. So rather than focusing on a linguistics aspect of a machine's AI technology, you need to work on a statistical model. And the statistical model says what will be the next word. So in large language model is not a linguistics model. They are actually a predictive model, which word will come next. So if you are typing once upon, and that the next word it's a time, it will not be a city or B or pizza. So these statistical model, whatever you see nowadays, they are actually based on the statistical model, not on the linguistics models. So what has changed? This was one aspect of large language model. But what has changed in the AI since Alan Turing? Alan Turing gave us a test. We call it Turing test, and still we use that in the form of CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is a automatic computing which discerns what is human and what is machines. So what has changed so far is that the storage of the net, our data's, our computing has improved. So we are storing the data in neural networks. We are, scale of the computing has enhanced, and the quantity of available data sets has, also evolved. So, and that is why we have a large language models. But the stories of artificial intelligence go back, at the early 20th century. There was a horse in Germany. It was called Clever Hans. So Clever Hans was a horse which was trained by von Hostens, and it was called in fact the news was coming in the New York Times. Wonderful wonder horse of the Germany. So this horse was able to actually identify the alphabet. The horse was also able to sum up two numbers or three numbers. In fact, the horse Clever Hans was also able to subtract. So how he used to do? He used tap his hoof on different numbers to identify the numbers. So if you give him a additions, two numbers additions, so he will tap his hoof for multiple times. So if he gives 3 plus 5, he will tap his hoof 5 times. So that's how he give answer. So he was giving an amazing answers to the people. So a lot of audiences used to come to watch Clever Hans, how he's giving the right answers. So in fact, he was so popular that the education department of Germany had to set up a commissions. that whether the intelligence horse has is a real or not, whether it's a fake intelligence or whether it's a real intelligence. So what happens? Education department included one philosopher, one geologist, a circus manager was added in the commissions to understand what the clever Hans, how he gives the right answer. So they came to the conclusions after the inquiry that it's worthy to investigate the intelligence of clever Hans. So they also said that after a few weeks later, they said that we found that Hans is giving the right answer when the questioner is standing in front of the Hans. But if the questioner is asking questions way beyond where the Hans can't see the questioner, or the questioner himself doesn't know what is the right answer, then clever Hans is not able to give the right answer. So they came to the conclusion that clever Hans is actually questioner is not aware about it, but the clever Hans is actually getting the right answer from the questioner himself. So he is actually observing the behaviors, the facial expressions of the questioner. He is observing the breathing of the questioner, the postures of the questioners. So, and that's how he is giving the right answer. So what I'm trying to say is through this picture, that if the horse can be trained like this, why not the machines? So in fact, the Charles Babbage himself said that the end of the 20th century, people will believe that machine thinks, and there will be no contradiction. And that same is happening nowadays. Large language model, that we believe that machine thinks, isn't it? There's no contradiction because we are getting right answers from the large language models. So that is the story, which is really fascinating. So there can be many components of artificial intelligence. One can be text to speech. You can have a speech to text, and you can have predictive analysis. You can have deep learning. You can have a image recognition. Recently, from a Gemini, I extracted the data from the image. So you upload the image on the Gemini, and you can extract the data. So there are various components of the artificial intelligence. It is applied everywhere nowadays. In all walks of life, you can apply artificial intelligence, undoubtedly. But it's a technology that you need to understand. And as the clever Hans was taking an indication from the questioner himself, same is taking the indication from the questioner. Large language model doesn't generate the answer automatically. Actually, they take the hints from the questioner, and then they match with their data and give you the right answer. So that's a technology we need to understand. In fact, the Sundar Pichai said that artificial intelligence is the most important thing humanity has ever worked on. And he said that I think of it as something more profound than electricity and fire. So right now there are 37.1% annual growth in artificial intelligence, business, and it is believed that by 2030 there will be more than $1,000 billion industry this artificial intelligence will be. So there are enormous chances. In fact, many years ago, it was predicted that there will be growth of 220% in the data science in India, and that is same is happening. Let's see the large number of advertisement by the corporate houses. They are for the data scientists, data professionals. So another thing that you need to learn is that is the imitation learning system, which is another subset of deep learning. So how the Tesla has a driverless cars. So what Tesla technology does under the imitation learning system, they recorded the behavior of the drivers initially. So there was a camera was set up on the cars. Along with the camera, they recorded the behaviors of how the driver acted in a particular situation. So if another car is coming from the front, how the driver acted. If the tree came into way, then how the driver acted. So they recorded not just the roads movement, but they also recorded how the driver acted in particular situation. And that's why Tesla says that their cars have an experience of 30 lakh miles when they come on the road. When the new cars come on the road, they have an experience of 13 lakh miles. However, if the normal drivers, drive 500 or 1,000 kilometers before coming on the road. So these are the example that how AI has enormous features. But somehow, whether we are aware or not, AI we have been using. All of us have been using, whether it's Alexa, whether the Siri in iPhones, or whether our YouTube channels. So when you go to the YouTube channel, channel will give you recommendations. They will give you recommendations. And when you start playing one video, they will also give you suggestions, isn't it? So these are the new videos you can watch. So it's nothing. It's an artificial intelligence which we have been using in different platforms. So apart from that, what are the shared principles that you need to learn? Because these shared principles can help you to inculcate the discernibility. Because if you not inculcate the discernibility among the allies professionals, how will you conduct the AI literacy program in the library? That is a challenge that you need to learn as a library information science professional, wherein you are setting up a AI platform that you need to make sure that they are transparent and explainable. You need to make sure from where the data is coming, whether the data which the AI platform have been using, whether they adhere to the copyright laws or not, whether the privacy has been maintained in the data system or not. So it is not just you go on the website and start using the tools and tell to your user that these are the tools you should use for your study and research. But shared principle is that you need to make sure what is the transparency and what is the explainability, whether the tools is able to explain from where they are getting the data, whether the data which they have is anonymous, they are not compromising the privacy laws of the country, whether the systems of AI system are fair or not, whether the inclusivity have been maintained. See, I have already mentioned that when you go to San Francisco, you will see a lot of corporate houses, 6-7 major houses. You will find the headquarter of Apple, Google. There's one more corporate house which makes satellites. Many corporate houses. So these actually AI technology, which is not just a disruptive in nature, but I would say they are planetary disruptive. They have disrupting the entire planet in one way or the other, and that's why Sundar Pichai says they will become more important, like a water and electricity one day, isn't it? So that you need to understand whether they address the inclusivity or not, whether they are addressing the privacy or not, whether these are secure and resilient system. If AI systems start malfunctioning, whether they are compromising the privacy of a user or not. It's not necessarily that AI system will not malfunction at any point of time. So even if they malfunction, that you need to make sure they doesn't harm the society. And overall, another shared principle says that the ultimate aim of AI should be, uplift the society. They should not be to replace the humans. They should be actually to augment the performances of the users, so that people can do their work with ease. They can, have the better lives. And of course, these AI systems should also adhere to the accountability. They should also be governed properly. But one more thing, apart from this shared principle, you should remember that if your system is biased, if they are giving you inaccurate results and hallucinating, then these are the major risks for the libraries. So in any case, you cannot integrate, you cannot acquire, or you cannot develop a system which hallucinate, we give accurate information, or which are biases, because library is considered as a democratic organizations, and that's the advantage why the libraries are surviving in different times. Even if we had an automation, we accepted it. We had a computer, we accepted it. Now AI is coming, that we are also accepting it, and people happily use these tools, whatever we introduce in our library, because of this democratic nature of the library that you need to remember. And in any case, we cannot actually encourage any kind of biases and inaccuracies. So there are different tools in our previous presentations also. You have seen Mr. Arora has shown you different tools. So these different tools can be classified. They can generate text, they can generate videos, they can generate image. In fact, the codes can also be generated using these tools. Even if you don't know Python's codes, a little bit of Python you knows, you can generate a fabulous code, and you can integrate in your tools. And you can create from text to speech. You can have a 3D program also. And there are other tools which are helpful for the researchers. You can use in day-to-day research work. So that's a categorization, broadly categorization of tools and techniques. But I already explained you that there are 3 categories where we can apply these tools in the libraries. So what is the advent of AI in libraries? How we can use it? So first and foremost is that AI tools can improve the performance of the retrieval, because that retrieval tool which we were discussing, the ACR2 doubling core, we have a RDA, we have a better information retrieval tools now in the forms of AI. So you not just from the bibliographic details you can retrieve results, but from the full text you can actually generate the results. So now the search system of the libraries will be more cognitive in nature. So far what we were doing, we were searching the content and the system was giving us the hits, rank 1, 2, rank 3. But here with the integration of chatbots, with the integration of AI, conversationals and generative tools, we can actually converse with the system. So how will become more cognitive in nature rather than a simple giving you the results and making the ranks. So because their ranking was giving on the basis of the number of texts available in one particular document, but here you can interact with the system itself and you can reach to the appropriate point. So you then have a advantage using the AI tools rather than simple technology. And various corporate houses now, Web of Science has come with the research assistants. So research assistant, what they do, they are trying to fetch, prepare your when you prompt to the system will match with their own catalog, and the catalog will then pass the appropriate content to the large language model, and you will see the appropriate results. So not just the summation of the results you will see, you will also find the different results which are more appropriate. Rather than giving you thousands and lakhs of results, this AI system give you better outcome because they are intelligent in nature. And the large language model are being supported to these tools. So similarly, that you need to understand with the help of AI in Clarivate, we can actually make a connection, easily establish a connection between the content. We can have establish the connection between the people and different institutions, which was actually very cumbersome before AI. So with the help of AI, you can have a topic modeling, topic map, and through the topic map, you can establish a relationship between the content, people, and institutions. In fact, with the help of a time graph also, you can understand what is the growth of a literature on particular subject in a particular time durations. That is time graph also helping us. So these publishing houses are also integrating AI in their systems. So other areas where libraries can apply AI is a personalized recommendation system, intelligence resource management, with chatbot. We can have data analytics, collaboration, and knowledge sharing. Of course, after this you will have improved user experience, and that will improve efficiency, and have library will be able to take better decisions. So there can be many and pattern-driven acquisition model can also be done, because so far if you see the pattern-driven acquisition models, we were thinking what kind of content are being downloaded more by the pattern, and on the basis of the data we were taking the decision that this has already been downloaded multiple times, so we should buy this. But now with the help of AI, we can also ascertain how many times that data is, which chapter is consulted more, from the chapter which pages were consulted more. That kind of data also with the AI we can actually grasp, and we can take a better decisions. Not just now having a, like with the help of this we can also figure out, instead of buying a book we can buy a chapter. This chapter is in demand among our users, so we will not buy the book, we will buy the chapter only. So these kind of decisions, so decision making will be robust. And there are many libraries which happily integrated the AI in their system. For instance, Stanford University Library, they have integrated AI. So they had a large number of video recordings in the library, but they were not aware which was the event, who was the speakers, what was the theme, when it was organized. So they were very clueless. They had a large amount of videos. So after integrating the AI, they integrated the Stanford University Library AI Studio, and they could figure out easily which was the event, when it was held, who was the speaker. So that's the power of AI that you can integrate. And after this, you can also have a predictive analysis. Many of you might have aware about that OCLC has a question point service. Now they have discontinued it. So through the question point service, many librarians can actually sit simultaneously in different locations, and they can give the answer to the different queries, even if the user doesn't belong to that particular library. So Groupal librarian can actually deal with the different set of users, which are the user of different libraries. So similarly, like a question point service, now it is possible in the AI that you can actually have a real-time conversation with the users. So like sometime I'm telling you, I called one service center, And I was talking to that person on the call for 2 minutes, but at the end of the day, I got a hint that was not a real person; it was a machine. So this kind of a reference services, this kind of a interaction libraries can start jointly. And it is also very difficult for the library to trace the predatory journals. It's a very cumbersome, but with the help of AI, that is also possible, because AI can trace the unpredicted behavior of the journals, unpredicted growth of article in particular issues or in particular year, and that's how we can identify that these are the predatory journals and these are the other peer-reviewed and quality journals. So that's also possible. Apart from that, we can do a context indexing. Data description is one of the challenging tasks for the libraries. It is more than challenging. Cataloging of books is somewhat possible, and we are doing it graciously. But when you do it, the data descriptions, it is such a difficult job. So it's very cumbersome for the librarian to describe the data where they were not involved while collecting. So data description with the AI is possible, and there are many libraries who have been using this technology. So especially in the research data management, AI-based data descriptions is giving us very impactful results. Apart from that, we can also have a AI integration in data management planning stage, and of course that will enhance discoverability. AI can also be used summations, starting an abstracting service. A lot of abstracting services are free nowadays, but still, if library has their own institution has their own publications, and library would like to have a summations of those content, translating in different languages, that is also possible with the help of AI integrations and sentiment analysis, of course, and conversational chatbot also we can start. But now the challenge is these large language model, ChatGPT and Gemini, it is very difficult to identify whether they have also injected the redirected content or not. Whether they have also ingested the predatory journals or not. That's possible. And apart from that, it is also very much not possible that because these contents, large language model, are also using the copyright contents, and that's really problematic. So if you don't have a permission of the authors to ingest my published content in the large language model, that's completely illegal. Berne Conventions already says this. So how these large language model are using the copyright law, that's really a problematic. And therefore, if the library has to start their own service, the chatbot kind of a service, we need to have a our own retrieval augmented framework, and that's that we need to learn how to set up a retrieval augmented framework in the libraries. So for the setting up a retrieval framework, augmented retrieval framework in the library, you need to understand these different steps. And in different steps, like first you need to have your own set of documents, which is given here, like in OMA's data. And there will be a technology which actually which will convert this document and convert it to the vectors. We'll go to the vectors in the numeric forms. So the content, whether it's a text or videos or audios, they will be ingested to the vector database in a numeric form. And these numeric forms will apply the semantic search. And top of it, there will be LangChain. There are many, there are LangChains and GPT AI framework that you need to have. And after this, if you will put a prompt, if you will put a questions with the help of large language model, when these contents will go to the vector, and your prompt will go to through the semantic search. When it passes through the large language model, they will give you the appropriate answer. So this is way how the RAG can be set in the library. So that's a technology library can actually establish, and there are many libraries who has already set up the RAG framework in their library. So that's my argument, is that if you really would like to integrate AI chatbot in your libraries, instead of using these ChatGPT technologies, which is also a paid one, but there are this LangChain, which is basically an open source platform, and there are various open source large language models. So with these open source technologies also we can start a chatbot which is conversational and which is generative in our libraries. Apart from this LangChain, library can also take the help of Llama Index and the Haystack, which is following the BERT technology. So we need to understand there are two technologies, generative technology. One is GPT. So GPT is a go from left to right. Okay. However, the BERT technology not just read from left to right; it also read from right to left. So that's it's a unidirectional basically. So BERT technology, that's an advantage. So it is advised that if you try to integrate these generative technologies, conversation technologies in your library, you should actually use this BERT model, which is unidirectional, both way it can read. And there are raw LLM, there are raw LLM APIs and LLM UIs. Yeah. So that also you can explore in your library. So if you go into different growth of this large language model, it is not just Chat GPT or Gemini which is rising. Simultaneously, there are open source platforms are also rising. So you can see here Llama, which came in 2023, and thereafter Llama 2, which came in July 23. So there are many open source platforms are also coming up, and there are many libraries who are using these open source platforms and creating their own generative and conversational search retrieval systems. So because if you use the Chat GPT models, they are actually charging on the basis of the token. So the number of query your user is posing, they will give you invoices on the basis of that. So that's a token. For per token, library has to pay if you are using this proprietary technology. But if you use this open source technology in your library, you can establish free of course. Of course, you need a space and greater computing capability in your organization. So if you compare Llama 2, which is on open source, with the Chat GPT, of course, GPT is enormous. It is the largest data sets, which is much more powerful than other open source technology. But still, the Llama 2 has a 70 billion parameter. However, GPT has 1.76 trillion parameters. And as far the content is concerned, Llama 2 has a 4096. However, the GPT has 8192. So there are capabilities. There are a huge difference between the capabilities, but it doesn't mean that you cannot establish a AI platform in your libraries. Those of you who don't want to rely on technical capabilities, who don't have any technical manpower to establish this kind of open source platform, there are proprietary platform like in the MS Azure cloud technology with the very minimal efforts compared to the open source. You can integrate AI technology at a different platform, and you can have your own chatbot in the libraries. So, but the major problem with this integration in the library is the copyright laws. For instance, there are Bern Convention, and under the Bern Convention, the copyright book copyrighted in one country is also copyright in other countries. Okay, and there are 181 signatories on this Bern Conventions. And similarly, there are tribes agreement under which various intellectual property is also done. That's a right of the generators, creators. For instance, the trademarks, the logos, all these are also copyrighted under the IPR. And there are different copyright specific agreements. And that's the argument that these large language models, Chat GPT and Gemini, they are actually ingesting the copyright content into their system. And that's the threat for the libraries. If they will start ingesting the copyright content in the system, people will start using. There are a lot of argument that these generative system are not giving the citation within their text or in the reference, but that's the complete illusion. So in the new version of this Chat GPT 4, and in fact the older version also, if you put a proper prompt, if you know the prompt engineering, you can have a content with the citation also. In fact, the in-text citation you can generate with the older model also. I'm telling you this. So yesterday I tried it. So these systems are improving. So new model Chat GPT 4, they are also giving you the references. Gemini is also giving you the in-text reference. And that's the threat for the libraries. That's really a threat for the libraries, because these systems cannot use the copyright content. Because when I publish as an author, I didn't allow the publisher that large language model should use my writer. I never allowed it. And that's why the publisher has started a new model of business nowadays. So recently, one of our paper gone through the major and minor revisions. It's a stage of acceptance. So before acceptance, when I was uploading my revised versions, system asked me that you make sure you have not used the AI large language model generative systems in your writings. And I said, yes, I have not used it. I didn't use it. And thereafter, one more certificate I received that you have to give right to the publisher that the publisher can use this for the commercial purpose. Even I was transferring the copyright, but another set of agreements they are asking, and these set of agreements is nothing that publisher is now using their other business model, and they will have a profit sharing with this AI planetary disruptive planetary platforms, GPT, Gemini, and many others. So there is another business model has emerged. The author is writing a publications, then publisher is having a copyright, and the publisher is having another agreements with these large language models that they will share the profits. So these are because then they will use the copyright content, and that is the threat for the libraries. That if they, because libraries is having the copyright content to the publisher. So there was an industry where the publishers and the libraries and the users and the researchers were involved. But now there's one more entity in the business, and these are the LLMs. So that you need to understand that how to deal. And therefore, many libraries, like a Stanford University library, has set up their own set up AI platforms called Storm. So what they are doing, they are using their own copyright content behind it. So if you go to this website, you can explore what they are giving the in-text citation, and they are also giving the references. But all these references are actually the copyright is owned by either by the university, or they are under the open access CCC BY content. So that's how they are generating the content, which is really illegal. So I will advise all of you who are attending this program that you should start using the Storm and expose yourself to this Storm, that how you can establish and integrate AI in the libraries. But one more thing that you need to remember, that establishing the AI is not a single man job. You need to work collectively. We need to work collectively. We need to share our resources. We need to share our understanding and knowledge, and that's how we can deploy the AI technology and counter these kind of problems which is coming in the libraries and publishing sectors. So India has also started a India AI program, where they are giving a training data. They are training the manpowers. They are also setting up computing capacities. Now India AI is also giving the cloud platform, which are the cloud technology you can use, because it is not possible for the organization to have a computing platforms, computing infrastructure for the AI, and therefore government of India has also given the AI cloud technology platform where the institutions can use. So they have already listed which are the platform you can use. So there are many initiatives. India AI Future Skill Program also been expanded to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, where people are being educating through these programs. So there are activities under the India AI program. And India AI program, which is for under the METI, Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, AI startups are also being funded. So there are many initiatives in our country also. Use of AI by different platforms. So there are Site, already many of you know that. Site has integrated AI way back before launching this ChatGPT. So what Site does, you can also integrate the app in the Chrome. So once you integrate the app into the site, this citation database says that how many publications are there, how many other people who cited your publication are agreed to it, means they endorse your finding. But how many of them have contradicted? So they are giving, and how many of them are questioning your contradicting and questioning your research. So they are actually giving you that how many of them have cited, and how many are agreed, and how many are contradicted with this, how many have just mentioned it. So there are many things they are giving in the citation databases. So there are LitMap also, and there are Elicit also. I will show you demo in the end of this presentation. That's how Elicit is doing. So what Elicit is doing, once you ask the Elicit, which is also integrated with Jotiro. So what Elicit does is, you give a prompt to the Elicit, and Elicit will give you hits. Generally what we see on the windows, we see the results, that these are the results are retrieved. but you can retrieve the results in a different columns. These are the methods employed in this study. These are the objective of the studies. These were the major findings. So you can have a different columns for each results, and that results you can compare with other studies. So that's an advantage for the researcher. Those who are training the researchers in different universities, you should encourage researchers to use the elicit, because that can also minimize the times. They can, in a very short time, they can do a literature, and they can spend more time in their finding, collecting the data, because researchers generally spend a lot of time in conducting, ingesting, aggregating what study has already been done. So with these a tool like elicit, we can break up one study into different parts. What are the methods, objective, purposes, and the findings, and then we can integrate and contrast, make a contrast with the earlier studies. So that is the how we can harness the tools, AI tools in the research writing. So there are many examples. There are many complaints in the higher education institution that students don't study. They are hardly rely on these AI tools. Many teachers, when I'm sitting in the staff room, they complain they could go to the AI platform and make their assignments. And I don't know how to check these assignments. There's no so far any tools who can check the assignments. Of course, there are Turnitin and many other tools are available which can check the AI percentage, but they don't. These tools doesn't tell you from where these are coming. They never tell you the sources which AI platform they use for generating this. So, so my example, my suggestions to the librarians is that when your teacher is posing this kind of questions, you can also take the help of Alethea like a tools. So with the help of Alethea, which is a product of Clarivate, what they do, you upload the assignment on Alethea. Alethea will not assess the assignment. Alethea will give you the questions out of these assignments. And on the basis of the questions, you can give those questions to the students, and then you can assess the performances of videos. That's a new way. In the AI era, that's the new way how we will assess the student. It's not just an assignment. On the basis of the assignments, AI system will generate the questions, and the student has to answer those questions. That's the new way of the assessment is coming in the Western world. So now many of you might have been confused. What are the different tools and technology? So there's one platform called Futurepedia, where all these AI tools are being actually given links. So this is called a directory of AI tools in all spheres. So whether it's academia, whether it's industry, whatever tool you need, you go to these tools, search these tools, and you would be able to identify many. But remember that you need to remember those shared principles which I shared with you in the beginning. You just don't rush to use this tool. You apply your mind, discern which is appropriate for you and your users. So as a information science professional, I can categorize these tools in 4 categories. One category is administrative tools like ChatGPT. So what I do, it was very cumbersome for me earlier if I have prepared a proposal and check what are the grammatical errors are there. If there is any linguistics problem in my proposal, is there any typing error with the proposal? I had no access to the Grammarly many times. So with these tools, you give a prompt, just write, check my proposal below and correct the grammars and typing errors in it, and then put the semicolon and paste your proposal. And then these will check your proposal and will give you the wherever there is a correction needed, they will correct it. So in administrative work, when I'm preparing a note and I have to submit to the administrative office, my authorities, I do this like this because I have to do multiple tasks at a single time. So I have to train the users, I have to deal with my staff. It's very difficult for me to spend whole day on administrative work. So I take the help of GPT. I check my grammar, any other error it has, and it correct it. And you can converse with the system to improve your proposal. They will suggest you various improvement also. Another is a Gemini, which is more powerful. In fact, from the videos and images also, you can extract text. So if I upload an image and video and I tell them what is the mentioned in the video, give me the abstract. I don't have a time to go through this. Just give me the abstract. Gemini will give you. And suppose you are in the meeting, you just switch on the Opera AI, and the Opera AI will prepare you the meeting. So I have been engaged in different meetings online. Sometimes my team members give me tasks to prepare a minutes. That's a usual routine work. Each one of us has to prepare a meeting, like any flag activities. So The Otter AI can be very handy. Just switch on the Otter AI, or Otter AI will prepare the meeting notes automatically. And in the end, you take the help of GPT, Gemini, and correct your meeting notes. So that's remember Charles Babbage. All these tools are actually what Charles Babbage did. That the human is one, labor forces are the one untrustworthy in the whole aspect of the industry. So Otter AI these AI tools are doing nothing. They are taking the maximum amount of you, and that's what we have been doing it. So in the library, other tools which we can use is recommendation system. So the read OW AI is one system. You put the book which you have read, and on the basis of the book which you have just read, they will recommend me the next book which you should read. So World is Flat is the last book which I read. I asked the system, and the system suggests me similar book. 10 of the similar books that I should read now. Similarly, I already explained to Elicit. Perplex is another powerful platform which also give you text citation, the reference. The Research Rabbit is another tool. You select 3 main, article related to your study, and don't do anything. Just upload on the Research Rabbit. The Research Rabbit will give you a topic map, that which are the core paper related to your research. Identify those core paper, prepare a bibliography, download it, and in a very shortest time, researchers can prepare literature. So the idea is almost same, that you have not to spend work on a task which there are 2 type of skills. One is fungible and another is non-fungible skills. So fungible skills are those that your subordinates can do, that anybody can do. So AI system are doing nothing. They are taking over the fungible skills. So the non-fungible skills human can. So that's the idea. And there are Joha analytics, right? Similarly, there are many academic writing tools like Stormyer, showed you. Killbot is one. HyperWrite. There are tools. Grant AI. You can prepare a grant proposals. There are tools you can prepare an hypothesis. You can write, submit your proposal. You have, most difficult part in preparing a synopsis, writing a hypothesis. So give your objective and other purpose methodology to the system, and system will suggest you that these are the hypotheses researchers can use. So marvelous. So how powerful these tools are. But remember, AI is standing on the shoulders of the giants. That you need to remember. There are many workforce in developing and developed countries who categorized during the machine learning, unsupervised and supervised learning. During the supervised learning, these images were given labels. Okay, in fact, there is one project called ImageNet. So ImageNet is a project at Princeton University, and under the ImageNet project, the project says that I will, identify all the objects on the earth. So they are giving captions to each and every object on the earth. So that's the kind of, you can imagine the kind of a project it is. So there are many similar projects where the manpower is involved in a supervised learning, and these manpowers are in many developing countries. Their wages are less than the average wages of that countries. So one person who work on the Amazon truck for the supervised learning in the future aid micro workers, they are working to give labels under this supervised machine learning. They are underpaid labors. And these underpaid labors are not being acknowledged by these, powerful powerhouses when you go in the San Francisco, and they are not being acknowledged. They are saying that these are the technology invented by them. So a homogeneous group of peoples are claiming the technology is invented by them. But remember this: these platforms are being used in the developing and underdeveloping countries, where the manpower has been used for the AI platform. Because machine is not intelligent, then they will do everything. Supervision, they will do labeling, everything they will do. Now they became intelligent when these labor forces already assigned to millions of documents and millions of objects and trillions of objects. They assigned labels. They under the supervised machine learning. Now machine become an intelligent because these people have given the data to them. Okay, and the data they are also capturing when you're using this. So from the developing and developing countries. So this is the thing that you need to remember. So speech recognition, I already said that Robert Mercer was inducted by the IBM. The Robert Mercer was the same person who was involved in the Trump first presidential campaign, and he was also in the Cambridge Analytica project. So Robert Mercer suggested that instead of linguistics methods, you should use a statistical method for generating the content, and that's how these large language models are so successful. All right, so end of the consent. What is the end of the consent is that in the Duke University and the University of Colorado, there were many projects were going on, and these professors who were involved in this project, they actually mounted the camera in the university campuses, and they captured the images of the students. These cameras were actually mounted for months, and they captured the images of thousands of people on the campus. So you remember, we unintentionally post our pictures on the Facebook and Twitters. What they do, these pictures are actually by AI system are being recognized. So there are AI system in platform, AI platform, which can actually tell your identity using these pictures. They can also tell you the traits of your personality. There are AI system in place. In fact, in the US, FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigations, has come up with a project, and the project was that they actually had a biometric databases, and with the biometric databases, they also had a face recognition system. So with the help of biometric system and the fake face recognition system, they can easily monitor the movement of the people. So who is coming their countries, when they came, when they was out. So after actually 2001 World Trade Center attack, these systems were in place at the airport also. So there are the system with the help of biometric system and with the help of face recognition system, they can also predict you about your personality, whether the person is violent in nature, what kind of personality trait this person has. So these kind of way. So there are many databases. I would like to highlight that there is a mugshot databases. The mugshot is a database which was captured the people who visited the police stations or the people who were actually on the site during the crime scenes. So all these pictures were clicked, and there was one database was prepared. This data name is a mugshot database, and this database was used by NIST, National Institute of Standard and Technology, and FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. And these mugshot databases actually was used to identify who are the habitual offenders. So who the person who was find in different crimes scenes, the database AI system will identify who's the habitual offenders. But now this mugshot database is a training data. The people in different countries can use these mugshot databases to train their facial recognition system. But remember, when these pictures were captured during the crime scene sites, but how many people were acquitted? How many people were imprisoned? There's no record. They are simple images. So this is how their AI system can be biased. They can generate a profound metamorphosis based results. So that you need to remember that how these is end of concept, because still these images are available, and their family members they can't remove those images from databases. However, these were captures, and these people were not acquitted, imprisoned. People was not found guilty, but still their images are there in the databases. So that's kind of an end of the concept. But there are different biases AI systems follow, and these biases we need to understand. So there's a one company who started a recruitment on the basis of AI platforms. They said that there will be no human interference in recruitment. The AI system will determine who is the right candidate for our company. But this AI system, what they do when they were recruiting, they remove the gender, they remove the name of the person, they remove where the person was born, they remove everything, they anonymize the complete data, so there should not be any biases. But they captured the data, the institution, the way the candidate was passed. But the story is very interesting, how the biases came into the picture. But they suddenly found that the AI system determined if there is an all women's college, we will not choose that candidate. So they excluded the candidate who were coming from the all women's college. So it determines the company was not inclined to take a women candidate. So that's a very interesting story, that how AI systems are biased. There is one more story. There is one museum in Philadelphia. It's called the Skull Museum, which was established in 1800 something. And by the end of 19th century, they had more than 1,000 skulls. And they came up with a theory, story. that they have a 5 races we have on the they category. There are 5 races: English, blacks, English Africans, Mongolians, Asians. So they categorize 5 races, and they said that if the skull size is more of any race, that race is actually superior. They have a bigger brain. So, and then if they have a bigger brain, they are more superior in the intelligence. So in these 1,000 skulls, they aggregated that the white skull has sizes more than the other races. So that's in fact they excluded the skull size of the white people who were less than the average, so excluded from the museum, and they came up with the finding that the white races has a bigger skull size and has a bigger brain. So similarly, this large language model is also doing like this. They are giving you the results which they want you to see. They are giving you the story which they want you to read. So that's how these large language models are biases, and libraries have a greater responsibility to set up their own LLMs based on the open source platforms, or to use those platforms which are on the basis of the shared principles. So there was one person, a psychologist, it's called Paul Ockman. Paul Ockman did a research on facial expressions, and he did that research in New Guinea. So in the New Guinea, he reached to a very remote village, so there are 4 people of Okpa, and with this hypothesis that in the universe, all expressions are same. So all people on the planet have a same kind of expression and that have a same meaning. So he carried a different cards in his pocket and showed to this, 4 people of Oka. This is a tribal community who was totally unaware about the technologies, totally unaware what is happening in the city. So he showed different cards to these people and try to capture their emotions, whether the emotions and facial expressions are same in worldwide. But you won't believe that he started that study in 1960, but that now is a 8 billion industry now. Facial recognition is a very big industry, and that's why when we post our images on the Facebook, there are tools and techniques which can actually tell you what are the different traits people has, what kind of personality you has, whether you have a aggressive nature, whether you have a submissive in nature, whether you are involved in academics. So what kind of a personality you have, they can actually system can predict that kind of system. So this facial expression becomes so much big industry now. So now the challenge for the librarians and library information professional is how to go ahead in this AI technology, how to integrate in the library. That's so UNESCO AI competency framework show us the roadmap, and this competency framework tell us that first you need to acquire the understanding, you need to learn, you read different aspects of the AI and acquire the basic understanding. So once you acquire the basic understanding, you should deepen it. You should start using different AI tools and techniques, try to know what are different biases the system has, whether they maintain the privacy laws or not, or whether these systems are rational or not. All these things, whether they are fair or not, whether they adhere to the governance, and whether they are accountable or not. All these shared principles, whether they follow or not. And once you learn that, once you deepen it, you should start creating your own AI platform. And I already mentioned that there are 3 categories of AI platform which you can have in the library. First is you can integrate in an existing system. Second is you can make your own AI platforms, chat bots kind of things. And third is you can have a monitoring AI tools where you can monitoring the performance of different tools and technologies in your libraries. So that's a way. The UNESCO AI competency gives us a clear roadmap. But AI platform is doing a marvelous job for inclusions, especially for visually impaired students. There are AI technologies. They face problems to understand the diagrams, to understand the charts and graphs. But with the help of AI, that is possible now. These charts and diagram can be converted into text and speeches now. There are apps. My AI app is being used by 7 lakh peoples worldwide, and very handy. So you can educate your visually impaired students if you have in your organization that this is the AI-based app which you can use if you are facing difficulty in understanding the diagrams, charts, graphs. In fact, there are AI-based glasses now, so they no need a a walking stick now. So there are AI glasses. So what are object coming in their way, the glass will actually translate the image into the text and speech. So these visually impaired people can walk through the campus easily. So if the tree is coming on their way, the glass itself will read the object and will translate to the speech. So that's the technology which is really helpful for the inclusions for the visually impaired students. But there are technology which are also being used in the defense, and that is the really worry for different countries. And we have different AI initiative almost in all countries nowadays. So AI is being used in a defense also. There was a project Mavan, was a small piece of this larger picture it shows. So AI Mavan is the project that US defense forces has created a drone, and drone has a camera. So drone capture the camera, and these corporate houses, they actually monitor the movement of that object on the earth. So that project Maman was with Google earlier, but there was a lot of protests among the employees of the Google. So Google has to withdraw from this project. Now this project is being handled by the Microsoft. So there are many these defense related AI integration is also that you need to understand. So I would like to, before I wind up, I would like to tell you there's a story of Guta Purcha. So Guta Purcha was actually a tree in the forests of Malaysia and Singapore. So what this Guta Purcha used to do, Guta Purcha, this tree used to produce a small latex. So latex which we use now in our teeth, in the root canal, you see there's a white material, that is basically a latex. So latex was originated basically from the forest of a Malaysia and Singapore, and that latex in the 19th century, during 1850, there was a transcontinental oceans. Through the ocean there were wires, and these different countries, there was a communication system was established because these wires were going through the oceans. So what they did, they put a layer of latex on these wires so that wires can remain intact in the oceans. So there was no damage. Once you put a layer of latex on these wires, there will be no damage. So there was this, to get this latex from these Guta Purcha trees, these colonial forces actually wiped out the trees of Malaysia and Singapore. So out of 8 lakh trees, you can have 1 ton of latex. And to have this, there were wires in different continents across the nation. The length of these wires were during the 1850, where the colonial forces established, were around 2,300 miles. 2,300 miles. That was the length of these wires. So you can imagine 1 ton of latex, they had to cut 8 lakhs trees, and for these 2,300 miles wires, how many trees they cut down. So they wiped out the forests of Malaysia and Singapore to get the latex. The same is happening for the AI computing capabilities. So AI computing capability is nothing. They are actually using the minerals on the earth. So you will see the lithium batteries. So they are lithium lakes. So all these minerals are taken from the earth by these there's companies which are setting the cloud platforms, which are coming with these large AI systems. So nowadays the argument is, if you only understand the cost of the gold, but you never estimate the cost to the humanity to dug out the golds. So same is happening. We are only judging the benefits of the AI, but we are not judging that how much minerals are being taken from the earth to have these kind of platforms. So that you need to understand that you need to understand which model it is based on and what AI is being used, for whom we are making these models. That also you need to understand. So therefore, we need to have a proper evaluation system in the library, which model it is based on and what API is being used, whether the grounded and accurate source of data is being used, how model was trained and data is used, what benchmark use in the output evaluation, and if they behave malfunction, what are the guardrails have been put in place. So all these thinking we need to put in place. We also need to understand whether the system is multimodal or single model. That also, because if it's a not a multi-model, there are chances it is a bias. So multi-model system always we need to promote. We need to also adhere to the various privacy laws and privacy policies. So what are the challenges for the libraries? The challenges for the libraries, there can be academic misconduct. People will not have a faith of writing. If author will stop producing the content and new research, that's a threat for the libraries. If this misconduct become a part of our society, then no one will make an original content. And as an researchers, that is my major concern, not just as a librarian but as a researchers. That is, so we need to maintain. Library has a larger role to play, that how this academic integrity can be maintained. And another thing is data fabrication and falsification and modification can be done easily with the use of AI tools. That's another concern libraries has. Text plagiarism and automatic content generation can be done. Lack of transparency and disclosures, generation of fictitious clinical research data, and these hallucinations may lead to the culture or mistrust. That is another challenge library has. So there are many challenges library has, and that we need to address properly. So now I'll show you how this elicit works, because that's a very great tool that you need to know. You can see on the slide. Can you see the elicit?
Very much, Dr. Raj. Yeah.
So this is elicit, and once I log into this, I'm already logged into this system. So I put assistive technologies in libraries. Technologies in libraries. So what it gives, see, so it will give you hits. It will give you different hits. It will give you different hits, and further it categorize. You can categorize on different columns. So I want to categorize on the basis of mean finding. I want to categorize it on the basis of methodology. I want to categorize on the basis of limitations. So you will have a different columns here. So each study has been categorized in different columns. So as a researchers, you can easily figure out what are the major findings of this these studies, what are the different limitations, what are the methods were employed, and how this study is beneficial for me or not. So these are the things that you need to do. And similarly, you can also load, if you load more, you can also extract the data out of these. So if I'll add new step, you can extract the data out of it. So I can, I have already added this, so I have extracted the data. So you can select the paper and you can extract the data out of it. You can, one more step you can add, that you can get a list of concepts. So list of concepts also, like I want to use assistive technology for Weasley. So that's, so these are the things AI, how these AI tools are powerful. So these will make researchers' life really easy. So in one way, I'm saying that you need to counter different problems I've been facing. The other side, I'm also saying that these tools are very helpful for the researcher, and library should not miss a bus. But the problem we can solve, that if you keep in mind all these shared principles. So see, this is concept. They also make their different concepts. So anyway, this is generating different sub-concepts. So with these, thank you very much to all of you for patiently listening me, and I hope I have inculcated some kind of interest among each one of you, that you not just able to identify the right content, right tools and technology for yourself, but you can also establish a right artificial intelligence program in your libraries. Because once you will educate yourself, then only you can educate your user. So that the UNESCO framework for the AI create, acquire, deepen, and create that roadmap we should follow. So once you acquire it, deepen it, and then create it. So with this, thank you very much for patiently listening me. And you should also explore the Storm platform of Stanford University, which is based on open source large language model. So thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am. If you have any questions, I will be really happy to answer those.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Raj. Truly a mesmerized experience being here, listening to you, and mesmerizing and an amazing presentation of yours. And I must really compliment you for weaving this entire presentation in such a wonderful manner. You know, the best of the examples coming in, and what a panoramic view of this AI landscape that you have given it to us, you know, and truly depicting, you know, on one side the challenges, on the other side, you know, the opportunities also, and many of the concerns, like in last more than an hour time and within a very short span, and 1 hour, it's like a journeying through the AI, you know, in the and with a special focus on libraries. But I must really appreciate, you know, the efforts that you have put in making this as one of the most impressive presentation on AI for the libraries, because you have just taken as it was like a journey through AI, and the examples that you have quoted, I think, you know, that's going to get remembered by everyone, right from that clever Hans, you know, that horse. Many of, you know, the examples, I must really compliment you, and I think, you know, the entire our attendees over here, it was one of the most not only the impressive, the impactful, we are also going to each and every word that you have spoken over here, coming with a lot much of experience that you hold. You know, it's going to get cherished by people. Are just going to, they need not to just keep on referring. They're just, they themselves have means they have experience. It was like truly experiencing it, whatever, you know, you have been, because with the strong images you have been able to. It was not just the text, it was not only the words, it was the images also which you have, and that's has made it, you know, truly a memorable experience, you know, to listen to you, and greatly appreciate your professional acumen, you know, your will and desire to spread, you know, your knowledge that you have acquired. Truly remarkable, Dr. Raj. Thank you so very much. I'm feeling really so delighted and happy that it wasn't like, you know, the kind of a knowledge that we have gained in the last, you know, nearly 90 minutes time. You know, we have not felt as if, you know, it was just simply 90 minutes, because you have been able to bring together everything in such a holistic manner. And it's also the gradual, and that speaks volumes of your being with the research work. It is weaving that entire story. You know, it's like that you have been able to do. And that's translating, you know, the experience that you have, and for everyone, you know, of different cadres that we are being here today, and truly remarkable. Thank you so very much for being, you know, such a wonderful colleague for years altogether, and may God bless you, and you keep on spreading, you know, this knowledge and light around, and brightening up, you know, the ways of everyone. Yeah. So truly appreciate you being away from Delhi, and you have been there. I know that, you know, you yourself is undertaking, you know, means you are again empowering the others, you know, in other parts of the country, but your always readiness, you know, to come forward, that's always appreciated, Raj. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Can't thank you, really can't thank you enough. And
I'm thankful to all participants. I'm really amazed to see that around 700 participants are still in afternoon sessions. Yes. It's really an honor, and thank you to each one of you who are joining us today. It's really
thank you.
Really honor.
Thank you, Raj. Yeah, I know that we have already taken a lot much of the time, but we would just quickly would like to, because I could see that there are questions, but we would just selectively, I'm sorry, you know, that because of paucity of time, as Dr. Raj, you know, is also in the middle of here. So we will just quickly would like to take the questions, requesting our colleagues, you know, the session was truly empowering and enlightening, you know, and now requesting if you have any questions, all the queries have been put to rest by Dr. Raj. Still, you may like to have some specific queries. Please come forward. So this is Dr. Raj for you, and this is coming from Dr. Sriram, our librarian at Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, who is there with us. The question is that OpenAI uses huge resources to train its LLM and provides content to the users, which makes it difficult to judge its source from where it is coming in the recent developments. US court and the Delhi High Court summons OpenAI about copyright infringement. You have deliberated, in fact, on that. So what is your opinion about the copyright infringement by ChatGPT, and how a user of ChatGPT believe on its content for its authentication?
Yeah, that's a major concern for libraries. They already raised in one of the slides. Yeah,
exactly.
that's true. But that's also an opportunities for the different countries that we also already are fine-tuned our copyright laws, and we did an amendment in 2012. And after which, people can't make films on the basis of books. You cannot perform in different events. So there's we have done amendments. And Bun Convention also, if the content is copyright in one country, it's applicable to different country also. But now because of this large language model, I think it's also one more opportunity for us to fine tune our Copyright Act 1957 further. So we can explicitly mention in our copyright laws that this large language model cannot use the copyright content. So once this will start doing, that will be binding on this large language model. But what these large language models are actually doing is there's a gray area where this copyright, laws and Berne Convention is not addressing. So they are using those gray areas and using the copyright content. So once we'll fine tune our copyright laws, then this model will not be able to use it. And I am sure down the years that is going to happen soon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raj, for this. And we would just also like to inform our attendees that the entire deliberations, with the permission, Dr. Raj, we would like to seek of yours. We are wanting to put it also available, the deliberations since morning that we had, including this wonderful session of yours. We are going to put it on our YouTube channel of DELNET WebView, and would be requesting your consent for the same. And there have been the questions about more to do. There is a question coming in from Mr. Rupesh Kumar that how can academic libraries leverage artificial intelligence to distinguish between post-truth narratives and objectively false information? That's, I believe, the librarians' roles, still would, though technology is posing its own challenges, but I think our role would still, will remain as stronger, and we are required much more than ever before, to do that. And
so there are different tools. Yeah. There are different tools you can figure out where the content was originated. So there are different agencies have access to those tools. So if you post anything on the WhatsApp group, so they can easily figure out from where the content was originated. But I'm not sure about those. What are the different open access platform where you can? But surely, if you can email me, I can identify and I can tell the person what is the appropriate open access platforms you can use to identify where the content was originated. Like there's a TinEye, for instance. I'm giving you the TinEye is one platform. You can identify who's the originator of one particular image. So go to the Google and figure out TinEye. So TinEye will identify who's the original creator of that image. So similarly, there are tools in place, and you can make use of those tools to counter this post-truth. You can also educate your users about different tools and techniques. And of course, librarians are known for evaluating the informations. We have only those kind of skills. Yeah.
We could also can see that couple of our colleagues over here, everyone is feeling the need that yes, they need to be trained a little bit more. This AI literacy that you have also focused on, that we have to, even the librarians and library professionals have to be trained in getting more skill sets in using AI tools and applications in their own respective libraries. There have been the libraries, and we could see that in the questions, that they're just wanting to know, in particular, like someone belonging to medical libraries, so that, that how we can implement, certain tools over there. I think the more we collectively move together, because it's like, to have a wider perspective, and then trying to see that how in our own spaces, we may be from academic libraries, we may be from the medical, we may be from the corporate sector, that how we can implement them. But one thing, that I could see that which has resonated strongly out of the deliberations that we have been doing since morning, that is that in the libraries, in the institutions, academic, or for that matter, other kind of institutions too, there is a greater need to, popularize the AI tools implementations. But at the same time, we also have to remain very sensitive about the, the ethical AI, and should also try to educate our own researchers and scholars about it. There are tools, technologies being available, but I think the role of the libraries and professionals would really remain quite relevant in this context of AI too. At the same time, means what we have been able to deliberate since morning, the same kind of, the thought that we are able to assimilate, is that yes, the professionals, library professionals, have to continue to play, that very important role in educating the users community. And for DELNET also, it's definitely a takeaway, a strong takeaway from these sessions since morning today, that we must try to also build up some major big portal wherein we are trying to bring together, all these different tools, technologies, and also FAQ systems, and organizing more of the, special sessions, which really can help, everyone who are being with the institutions, and we should continue to play our important role as a professional community. So I believe, Dr. Raj, we are now towards, and there are some who are wanting to ask about your email ID. I could see that there are 3 or 4. So you may like to say, so that they may like to contact you, Dr. Raj. Although I remember it, it is rajachd@gmail.com. With your permission, Raj, yeah. So please kindly note, it is R-double-A-J. It is R-double-A-J. Though the name is Dr. Raj is R-A-J, but the email ID goes as R-double-A-J-C-H-D@gmail.com. So CHD for Chandigarh as a short, if you make it. So R-double-A-J-C-H-D@gmail.com. Thank you very much, Dr. Raj, for this. And everyone is in great admiration of this wonderful presentation which has been made by you. And we could see that a comment coming in from Mr. Ayan Mondal, who says that yes, from Tuli Research Center for India, that like ILMS, librarians also needs to undergo more training on open access AI and many of the tools which are being there. And yes, we strongly, each one of us agrees with that. So this, we are on the conclusion, Dr. Raj, of your wonderful presentation. It was truly an enlightened, afternoon. You had shined much brighter than even the sun, yeah. And you have been able to spread. Let me just share with you. It was truly, and it was the wonderful part. I must say that it's a storytelling. We are talking about a digital storytelling, and what you have been able to do is, it's indeed like you have been able to, the flow of the session, the flow of your presentation was truly remarkable, and that has really created such a deepening impact. This is how you always professionally also, you are able to stand out from the crowd, and in your presentation you have been able to do that. So it's like building up, and everything that you have spoken, many of our attendees here have also mentioned about it. That's the examples that you have quoted. So it's going to etch forever, and what a wonderful presentation, what a wonderful afternoon, truly an empowered one, truly a knowledge enhancing one. Truly remain, grateful to you for your being there, with us. And thank you so very much for taking our time, Dr. Raj. Truly appreciate it. May God bless you, and really can't thank you enough. May we have a pleasure on behalf of DELNET and each one of us.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you.
This is, I would like to present it to you in person,
Thank you.
and we will be really we really look forward, to having many more. And this is just to inform all our colleagues over here, that DELNET, we are holding, Dr. Raj is one of our very distinguished colleagues, along with Dr. Nabi Hassan, and three of us, we are holding an European Union's funded training program in Bhutan. DELNET has been approached by this Happy project in Bhutan, which is being funded by Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. And from 6th to 10th of January, we are in Thimphu. We are holding a training program for the Bhutanese librarians, which is a European Union funded. So, and I must really take this opportunity to thank you for that also, Dr. Rajia. So,
thank you,
and looking forward, yes. So thank you very much, one and all. It was truly, a wonderful day, and thank you very much, Raj, for making it possible for us to have you online. And though you are being there away, but still you have been very, very kind, always being available and accessible. And thank you so very much indeed. So with this, we would like to conclude our day-long, deliberations. Wonderful, day, knowledge-enhancing day, and wherein we have, by organizing this as a library networking day, we pay once again on this occasion our most humble tributes to Dr. H.K. Kaul, the great visionary, the missionary, whose vision has resulted into the entire conceptualizing of DELNET, and where we stand today as a self-sustainable organization. We pay our most humble tributes. Each one of us pays our most humble tributes in remembrance to Dr. Kaul. We remain grateful to you for your being there since morning with us, and for this very overwhelming response from all nooks and parts of India and from many other countries. Our colleagues have been able to join. We remain always, always grateful to you for your very valued participation, very engaging participation, and this we may like to the AI in libraries, the implementation of AI tools and technologies in libraries, and with a focus on libraries and also for researchers and scholars. I would like to assure you that DELNET would immediately be wanting to start working on that, and we would like to really keep on doing many more programs, more specialized programs, even for specialized tools. We may like to continue holding these sessions, more frequently, and also to see to it that we are able to create and develop some major portal wherein each one of us are going to engage in more knowledge deliberations and helping each other and setting in some of the best examples. So with this, we conclude our the program being marked AI for Everyone, Myths Busted. And I think we are at this juncture, definitely many of the myths centered around AI have completely been busted. We are in a better, state of clarity now what we were when we started off this morning. And for this, we must really acknowledge the support extended by the distinguished speakers, including Mr. Kanwaljeet Singh Arora and also Dr. Raj Kumar Bhardwaj, who really had made it possible for us to have better clarification, better clarity, and also to know whether AI is a friend or a foe. We are able to know more clearly about it. So I think there's a greater need that we need to get ourselves more acquainted. As deliberations have also hinted, we have to get more, not only the expertise, but the new skill sets also have to be developed, and we together, each one of us have to play a very significant role and in ensuring that we are able to make the best use of AI, and also to remain sensitive on the other side of the technology. And I think each one of us has to play a very responsible role in that. So we would like to once again thank you for your tremendous support in being there, to our distinguished speakers and each one of you who have been able to really spare time today and being a part of this wonderful celebration of the Library Networking Day being organized by DELNET. And with this, we conclude. And I also, on behalf of DELNET, may like to, thank my colleagues, Mr. Kushal Giri Goswami and Mrs. Ranjana, who have always been of great support in organizing these webinar sessions. Thank you very much. Just quickly to mention, the entire deliberations of today would be available on the DELNET's YouTube channel, WebView, that we will be able to do it by Monday noon. And also within 1 hour, by 4:30, you will be receiving the certificate of participation. Your very active participation, gracious presence this afternoon, you will be receiving that. With this, we conclude the program, and thank you very much once again. Stay happy, stay blessed, do stay connected, and we look forward to coming back again in the new year with the new programs. So wishing you all a very, very happy and blessed new year, and we look forward to our very continued, professional interactions. And with this, thank you very much, and we remain ever grateful to you for your immense support to us. Thank you so very much once again. Thank you.